that song is sick. Why do you think Dink and Coach have been forcing me to put it back in the opening video? Why do you think they've been forcing me to put it back in the opening? What'd you say, Coach?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The song that was in our starting screen originally. Guys, if you guys are wondering, we are just podcasting tonight. We're not going to be... No gaming tonight because there's a lot of shit that's been out that we want to talk about. Oh, yeah. Viz, I was going to send you that song real quick. Hold on. Coach, how are you doing, buddy? I know we just kind of talked about it, but how are we doing?
We're good. I'm not certain how long I'm going to be here. He's
Okay.
being a pain.
Being a pain? Yeah. I get it, dude. I get it. Well, actually...
Well, you will be able to.
I will get it. I don't fully understand it yet, but I will. Don't worry.
You will understand.
He was and Dink. That's the song. Viz, that's the song. I don't know if that's like the actual song, but like when I Shazammed it out of my my headset, that was the one I found. That's the one that came up. So, great song though. It's a great song. But yeah, so the game plan for today, obviously, as you heard, Coach isn't sure how long he'll be here, but that's all right. The game plan for tonight that I would like to talk about today is a lot of the stuff that has come out recently. Dink is getting food. Hi, Andrew. He's going to join us shortly. Dink is going to join us for the Reacher conversation. So I figured, let's talk about the stuff that Dink hasn't seen yet while we have Coach here. Which is everything. While Coach is here, we can talk about Echo, we can talk about Percy Jackson, and Coach, did you watch the Bad Batch Season 3 trailer?
Yeah.
I want to talk about that. And I have some interesting feedback about the Percy show as well.
I haven't seen last night's Percy just because I've been busting my ass at work, but...
I won't spoil anything.
I don't know. I'm trying to get my thoughts together because there's just been a lot of crap going on at home, so...
I get you. I totally get it. So, we're going to talk about a couple things today, guys. Like I said, not sure how long Coach will be here. Dink's only seen Reacher of all the things we're talking about today, so Dink will, supposedly, he's getting food, but he's going to join us for the Reacher conversation. But I think, obviously, we should just get right back into it. As you guys know, I'm that one nerd, Revan. Right over here to my left, that is Coach Vader. Vador. And below, right here at the bottom, that is Dink. He is not here right now. He is getting food. But if you guys are here, you guys are hanging out, you guys know who Dink is.
That avatar is better looking than he actually is.
That is, yeah. Willem Dafoe, baby. So, a little bit of what I want to talk... Let's talk about Echo first. Because, Coach, you said some things to me when you were watching Echo. You finished it before I did, and you gave me your general thoughts on Echo before Mrs. Revan and I were able to watch it. What were your general thoughts on Echo, on the Echo show?
My main general thought was I didn't think I wanted an Echo show because I really didn't think it was a character I gave two craps about.
Second.
But at the end of the day, it was really good, well written, very, very good character that you have kind of an idea who it is. Mm-hmm. And the storyline in which they dove deep into Native American history, Native American lore to make it so. And yeah, Marvel tends to like to have comedy in it, and it wasn't kind of the dorky, She-Hulk comedy. It was warranted to the character that was making that was the comic relief of the scene or the comic relief of whatever was going on. Like, it wasn't out of place. It was within the realm of the storyline. It wasn't stupid. It wasn't, cringy like She-Hulk. But ultimately, it just came out. It was a really good show. I didn't know I wanted to see, and it's a solid second behind Miss Marvel. All the other ones are okay. They're not great. As much as people like Winter Soldier and Falcon. It was okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one brooding dumbass against another brooding dumbass.
Yep.
And they finally found a way, which that's what they do.
Yeah.
I don't know. It is definitely one of the two top Marvel shows that they've had.
Yes.
And that's kind of the overall. Without getting into characters or character development, it's nice to see that they're tying in old stuff, new stuff, all that fun stuff.
I completely agree. My yo, Souls, what's up, dude? Revan with the rune change. When did that happen? Literally less than a week ago, dude. I got all this Tuesday. Was it Tuesday? No. Sunday was literally my first stream with the setup. I finished it on Sunday. I finished getting it all set up on Sunday. My overall thoughts on the show, on Echo. Coach, exactly where you're at. I completely agree. I think Echo, just like you said, I didn't know Echo was a character. I didn't know who she was until the Hawkeye show. Until Hawkeye. I didn't know she was a character. When she showed up and everyone goes, holy crap, that's Echo, I said, who? And I had to look up who it was. I didn't know. I've never read enough comics. Thanks, Viz. I've never read enough comics to know who that is. And I obviously did some research, looked into her, and she's badass. Like, she's a cool character. And I said, however, is she cool enough for her own TV show? Like, how is this gonna... I understand, obviously, this is gonna be, just like comics, she didn't actually kill Kingpin. Somehow Kingpin's gonna come back. I said, there's no real, I don't think this is generally... I didn't think this was generally needed. And then I saw it, and we watched it, and I heard your feedback. You messaged me about the feedback on the show, and I said, oh, wow, okay, I'm actually kind of excited. I saw the first trailer, and I was like, this looks sick. This looks badass. And then the show came out, and obviously you were correct. I completely agreed with you on it. It was a very good show. A very much a pleasant surprise. Just like the Miss Marvel show. Wasn't sure what I was going to get, and I'm happy that I got what I did. Because it was... And you want to know what Miss Revan said about it, Coach? She said, these are the only two shows to have such a heavy emphasis on family. And for some reason, Marvel Marvel knows how to do those. For some reason, Marvel knows how to write that. Marvel knows how to write... I think a lot of it is the guys that were writing Loki is the reason why the writing and the stuff was so good on Loki. To me, Echo is right up there with Loki and Miss Marvel. It doesn't surpass Miss Marvel, and then for me, but it's up there. But you've got shows like Moon Knight. Not a bad show, but not a whole lot there to keep me fully engaged through the whole thing. There's things that they did very well that should have been the whole show. And then you have shows obviously, like you said, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It was just two guys beating each other up for the first half of it, and then they were working together for the rest of it. It's not really a whole lot of story to it. And then you're wrong, Wenchy, wrong. But there was it's just, yeah. Marvel knows how to write that stuff well, and I think the problem is I think a lot of it comes down to, and we've had this conversation before. It is something that they weren't 100% sure was really going to click and do well, and they just let the people in charge of the show do their thing. That's what they did. And it worked. It worked. So, that's just that's my 2 cents on it. Obviously, we don't have to go into a whole lot. We can obviously talk about what we liked, what we didn't like about it. But those are just overall my general thoughts. I think it was just a really well-structured, literally 5-episode show, which is, in my opinion, hard to do. But for a character like that, they did well.
I don't have anything bad to say about it because, for one, I don't have a preconceived notion of the character. So I could just sit back and enjoy it. I don't have a bad thing to say about it. Mm-hmm. They have good character development. They have a good history. And then when you read in the credits on how much they dove into the history, saying they worked with a specific tribal nation. Yep. To make sure that they were authentic as possible to the Native American culture and the Native American way of life. And on top of that, when you see interviews with the girl that plays Echo,
Yep.
she never acted.
Yeah.
She just signed up one day
Mm-hmm.
because she fit the narrative. She was deaf, could sign. The only thing that they added to it was the fact that she was an amputee. So they ran with it. From the interviews I see, that Marvel was above and beyond willing to work with her, being very good about helping her through some of the things that she has to deal with
Yep.
as being an amputee and deaf. And I'm just impressed with the actress. I didn't know that. I thought they actually CG'd the leg. I didn't know that's actually her. That's her. That's what she brought to the character.
She's
She
she's an amputee, and
she
she
brought
can
that
move, dude.
thing.
Like,
Yeah.
no, it.
Yeah, she's athletic. She
Mhm.
apparently she just had a baby.
Yeah, I think so, yeah, and she does a lot of her own stunts. Like, she's insane. She's one of my new like. She's just a good character. Like, it's just so like. Everything that they did well, and it was like, and I agree with you. I don't think there's a whole lot for me to complain about. Like, I was like, thought you. Solo says, when he said the only thing they added was the amputee, I thought he meant they amputated her.
No.
No, yeah, she was a literal, like, she is an actual amputee. She is actually missing a leg, and she's a badass. And it's like, they just, I think I agree with you. There's not a whole lot of negative. My only thing I watched throughout the entire series that made me go, I hope that's not what's happening here, is when she did her little thing at the end. Yeah. Without giving too much away, I said, I hope she's not making him a good guy. Because he better not be a good guy. Because he's not. He's one of literally the most evil characters in Marvel. So I was hoping that she wasn't healing his heart, you know what I mean? But from what it sounded like, is it healed his pain that he had. From what I've been reading, is she healed his pain that he had with his father. And he's going to take that newfound strength he has. And obviously, did you see the end credit, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I saw the end credit. And that's what I think they're gonna do. I think a lot of his angst, a lot of Kingpin's overall.
Yes, I was talking about Kingpin. Sorry.
It is because of the trauma he had as a child, having to basically murder his father to get him off his mind. It's like, all right, so as long as that's done, he can still be that big bad. Like, he's still one of the strongest characters after the Hawkeye series, being able to, like, that was the biggest shock of the Hawkeye series, was like, all right, why is Kingpin all of a sudden the strongest mofo in the planet, being able to beat the snot out of Hawkeye, and Hawkeye's gone against superhumans? So I was thinking, like, all right, so if he's that superhuman type of character, and we're always going to get him, he's always going to be that big bad. But the best thing that they're doing is they're developing his character from what he was in Daredevil and Hawkeye, and helping him move forward to that storyline of him being, well, I don't know if I should spoil it, but where they're going with it, what he's going to be doing with it, because it's already in the comics. You've seen it been done, but the direction they're going. I didn't worry about that. Like, if I took a critical eye to it, like, the cousin's a little dorky for me, but it was funny in the moment, so I don't have
the cousin.
Yeah.
Biscuits. Biscuits. So Soul-Tits, have you seen Echo Soul-Titties, or have you not seen it yet? Biscuits was the classic Disney edition character. Biscuits was the Luis. Biscuits was Luis for Echo. That's what he was. And I didn't mind it, but at the same time, when I had the exact same thought. I saw Biscuits and I was like, okay, guys. Like, this guy, he is the guy in the chair. He's the goofball friend. It's like another classic Disney thing. But I thought, like you said, he was goofy, but at the same time, he served a purpose. Like, and I'll tell you what too. had me worried at the end. I was like, please God, don't let anything happen to this guy. He's just a sweet, sweet soul. And I didn't want anything to happen to him. So it was like, when it comes to like Kingpin and stuff, like, I was worried where they were going with Kingpin when we saw Hawkeye, and now with Echo, I think I know where they're going. He is going to supposedly be in Daredevil Born Again. The rumored story of Daredevil Born Again is that he's going to be either running for mayor at the time, or he's going to have just been elected to mayor of New York City. And that's the rumored. Nothing set, but obviously, just watch Echo.
But if it's true, the best thing that I've heard about the Daredevil series is they're bringing Foggy and what's-her-face back. Paige.
Foggy and Karen are coming back, and they're bringing back the actor who played Bullseye in the Netflix series in season 3.
I really didn't.
Bullseye was good. He was a great Bullseye, but that was the weakest season of Daredevil, so it was like not a whole lot to remember there. But
to me, they should lean into it and bring everybody back that was in it series, so that they could fix the storyline of Fist a little bit. And
yep, they're supposed. So they did you hear that it's canonically like they are all in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Defenders. Yeah. So that's another bit of news there that I did also want to bring up, that yes, the Defenders, the Netflix characters, much to everyone's chagrin that didn't like Iron Fist, which surprisingly to me, that's still Rand and I were talking about it the other day. That might be my Marvel hot take, my biggest one, because it seems like everyone fucking hated that show, and I actually enjoyed it. We've talked about it. We liked it. Mrs. Revan and I liked the show a lot. Like, the only show out of the ones that I didn't really like, I didn't love Luke Cage. Like, I thought it was okay. I didn't love it.
The only one that I thought was out of the ordinary for Marvel was the girls. What's hers? The PI, what was her name?
Oh, Jessica Jones.
Yeah, that was the only one that didn't feel like it was Marvel.
Yeah, it really is.
But when you break down those Netflix series, like, I enjoyed all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I did too.
It's a lot like when we have the Star Wars conversation, right? You have the haters that nitpick and everything like that. But for me, when I can go into it without preconceived notions or without that, and just watch the story and get involved in, like, if they brought back everybody from those original series, I'd be like, great, because I know these guys, I know how they play that character. If they're gonna recast something, sometimes that's a little off-putting. And you have to do it early enough in the timeline, so it's not that big of a deal. Like Ruffalo replacing what's his face as Banner. That was seamless, because people don't remember that Hulk movie. All they remember is Iron Man being the catalyst, which he wasn't. Iron Man was filming while Hulk was finishing up, and that end credit scene was just kind of filler they threw in at the end to help start the train. I'd have to look at the timeline on that, but yeah, so. Like, all of those series, I didn't know what Iron Fist was about, so I had no background on that. I didn't know what Jessica Jones was, had no background. I liked Jessica Jones because it was a little grittier than most.
Very, very much darker. She had, I believe, one of the few Marvel comics that's like an actual, like, graphic novel.
Yeah, and Cage, I like the actor that played Cage.
He's good.
I like what they did with it. I like how he was really just a humanized guy that just. I like the guys that are good guys that ended up just being in bad situations, and then when they get that second chance, they take advantage. Like, I really do like that kind of premise.
Yeah. My
Iron Man's cool.
my biggest
Captain America's better.
Goated. My favorite of the four, though, other than Daredevil, like I love Did you watch Punisher?
Oh, I love Punisher.
I need John. That's the one. Like, they're confirming that all the Defenders, the Netflix shows, are canon. When I heard that, I said, "Holy shit, we get more John Bernthal Punisher," and I cannot wait. John Bernthal as Punisher is, to me, right up there with Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. That, to me, is about as perfect as a casting as you can get. John Bernthal is is Frank Castle, and just when I heard that was happening, I was like, hell yeah, dude.
So, and one of the reasons why I think Echo's so well done is I just kind of did a dive into Amy Reardon.
Yeah.
And I realized why Echo has the feel it does, because she wrote Charmed, Jane the Virgin, which was a very good TV series. Looking at some of her older stuff. Game by Design. Like, some of these were really good female-based TV shows.
Yeah.
Especially Charmed. Charmed was... He did 72 episodes of that from 18 to 22.
Yep.
Like, that's where that comes. And let's see, Marlon. Plus, I want to see if they were doing any other Marvel stuff.
She just knows how to write. Like, she obviously knows how to write a compelling story. Whether it's 72 episodes or 5, she just knows how to write a compelling story, apparently.
Oh, it's both women.
Like,
yeah, it's a woman duo. I didn't know. The name looked like it was
cool.
A male. Let me get through what she's actually done. The Axe. She wrote 21 episodes of Better Call Saul.
Ooh, well, there's a that would be the feel right there. That would be the connection in terms of writing style.
Yeah, you know what? It does seem like a Better Call Saul kind of style of filming.
Yeah. It has that feel. Yeah, it was just a very good show. So, obviously, if you guys cannot tell, Coach and I are obviously recommending you go watch Echo. If you are a Marvel fan, go watch Echo, because I do believe that it has ramifications that are going to mean a lot for the future of Marvel. So
I don't know. I think maybe the end credit scene does. I don't think
that's more so what I meant. Like, okay. The story of Kingpin, and where I think Marvel might be taking Kingpin. I read somewhere that someone was saying that Marvel's plan for him is he's going to be the Thanos of the street level. So, like, you've got the Thanos level, and then you've got the Kingpin level, which basically what he is, like, in the comics. So
one of the things that I picked up on while watching was when Kingpin saved Echo from self-destructing when her father died.
Yeah.
Like, that just shows you how much power he had in Hell's Kitchen.
Yep.
Like, he could walk up to a cop and say, bye-bye.
Yeah, crazy.
She just cost probably $300,000 to $400,000, if not more, of damage to motorcycles and
police vehicle.
Yeah. That's nuts. Like,
yeah,
it's subtle. It's kind of like, because when I first thought of it, I thought, oh, that's a cheap cop out. Like, Kingpin is blah blah blah. And then I thought about it, like, no, that just shows you his
power. His power. Yeah. Yeah. No, I completely agree. It's just a good show. It was just very well written. I can't get over the fact that how well written of a show it was, because you said it earlier. I didn't really dislike anything. I'm sitting here while we're talking, and I'm trying to think of things.
We're trying to find that one thing that we nitpick about, but the things that we pull up, we're like, I still liked it. I didn't care. Like,
yeah, like, I can't think of anything like you said, like Biscuits. Like, when we first met Biscuits in the show, I was like, all right, this guy's kind of goofy. This guy's a little over the top, a little funny. But still, by the end of it, I didn't want anything to happen to the guy. I wanted him to be fine. I was so, like, in 5 episodes, and Mrs. Revan can, speak to this. I didn't want any single person in that show to be hurt. And we barely spent any time with Bonnie, and I didn't want Bonnie to get hurt, because on the writing of the first few episodes, I knew how much she meant to our character, that I was like, if she gets hurt because our character had to go home, I'm gonna lose my shit. Like, it was just so well written, and it's a good thing to say in terms of Marvel, because we have had a lot of not very well written things from Marvel recently, and this was just a nice change of pace.
That not written well stuff is very very prominent, and that's
right now.
Why I was so happy with. That's why I was so happy with the series. Like I didn't want to not keep watching. I mean, I binged it in half a day. Like
Oh yeah, we finished it. We finished it in about a day and a half.
It just makes me mad that all these other series I have to wait a week. Like
I know,
because I end up forgetting about it. Like it's gonna be Thursday, and I haven't watched this week's Percy Jackson, which I fucking love. But
speaking of, I have a segue leading into that. We were talking about how much we love Echo being a show that, knowing nothing about, you didn't know anything about this character, you knew nothing about this stuff, leading into a series that, if you're a fan of the books and you've read the Percy Jackson books and you've seen the Percy Jackson movies, you know a bit of what Percy Jackson is about. And I have two very interesting bits on the Percy Jackson show. But first, do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first on Percy Jackson? You kind of gave your brief thought right there just a second ago, but do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
You could go. You seem to have something in mind.
I have two thoughts. One are my own, and the others are Mrs. Revan's. My thought. I think it's good. I think it's fine. I think it is a very refreshing show. And my wife's thoughts. She also likes it. She likes it to a point. And here's where it kind of branches off a bit. I read the books. I love the books. I didn't read the books fully until literally within the last few years. I've read all of them leading up to the new set that is out now, that is currently coming out. And I never read them. I didn't read them in middle school. I read like the first one or something for like a high school class or a middle school class. But I read the first one in like high school or like middle school or high school. I never read them all that. I never read them since. I wasn't I don't know why, because I was a huge Greek mythology guy, but I never read them. Just recently, read them all in the last few years. To me, the show, because I've seen the movie, I watched the movies. Having not actually read the books.
Nowhere near the books.
I read the first book. I remember reading the first book, and I watched the first movie and said, it's a little different. But it wasn't like a horrible movie. Like the first movie wasn't like a
good movie.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. It's just not in the realm of what you would think Percy Jackson after reading the book.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. I read the first book and I said, they changed some stuff up, but it's Hollywood. I get it. I still, because it was a fun movie. But I'm like, if I didn't read the book, I'm not sure if I would know 100% what's going on.
Not that Daddario doesn't help with that.
Yeah. And then the second movie was just garbage. And that
the second movie was them pivoting.
Yes.
To hope that they could get the people that read the books back. But even that is nowhere near the damn book.
Exactly. And they tried, and that was their downfall. And that is my Mrs. Revan's feedback on the second movie is she had read all the books. She's like, that second movie was just a disaster. And I had never read the second book when I watched the second movie. Just from a movie fan standpoint, that movie was ass. Like, that movie was just bad. And now I'm watching the show as a fan of the book series. And so far through this first season, I said,
they're pretty good.
This is a pretty good show. I remember what I read, and the show is, to me, translating what I've seen or what I read in the book to screen decently well. It is taking a couple of things, obviously, throughout every episode, every single chapter or story that they follow. There's some different stuff, like little things, like the Hermes shoes, like the Converse, the Chuck Taylors. Those being on Grover's feet the whole time instead of Percy's. Like, Percy wore those in the book. Like, there's certain little things that they've changed to a point to where the second book is also the worst of the series. Yes, very true.
I don't remember the Lotus portion of it being that prominent in the Lightning Thief. So that one, that when they were in the Lotus Casino, I was a little thrown off by that because it reminded me too much about the movies, not necessarily the book.
Yeah.
But when I take a mind's eye of just what I'm watching compared to what I remember of the books, like they're pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Like as far as trying to stay within the flavor.
Well, and here's the thing, and this was my thought on the Lotus Casino scene. I said the Lotus Casino scene in the book, having read the book recently, is very interesting. Like it's very, like you do spend a lot of time in the Lotus. Like it's very, very, very flushed out. And the movie obviously changed a few things, but it was also like, I thought the movie translated the Lotus Casino scene in the movie to me is translated better than in the show. That's so far for me the only thing that's been translated better, other than like visuals and stuff like that. Like some visuals in the movie, because obviously it's a movie budget, not a Disney movie. Sorry, it's now a Disney show. I
think the Lotus scene Casino was more about the actor they got to play Hermes.
Yes,
because Edge, who is cast perfectly for the God of War, perfectly, like that, I felt was really genuine to the book, and he's really genuine to what I would think Ares would be. Mm-hmm. This whole just kind of gritty, if he likes somebody, he's just gonna be more of an asshole to them, kind of a thing. And I think he knows damn well Grover was fucking with him. By the way.
Oh yeah. He's not an idiot. Mrs. Revan, I believe her favorite. I think that's kind of been her favorite part was the Ares stuff so far.
Definitely mine. I did like the scene where he gets saved by the water nymph or whatever the heck it is.
Yeah, that was cool.
In St. Louis, like that that I remember from the book. The second I saw it, I'm like, oh yeah, in the book that kind of the same thing happens. So I was like, all right, at least we're not getting off track here. I do think that they got a little off track on the Lotus, but you know, it's okay. It's okay. It doesn't have to be.
Right.
They could actually make probably a 24 episode season and still not get everything in that was pertinent in the book that you should probably.
Yes. Know. Well, and that's the thing too. So, like she's gonna hate that I'm saying this, but she doesn't dislike the show, Mrs. Revan. The books for her, like she's ahead of the series. Like she's pretty much all caught up. Like she's currently just waiting for the newest book to come out, I believe in September. Like she's all caught up.
Coming out?
Yeah. The newest series is called The Trials of Apollo. It's the newest series, and it's the most recent one that has Percy back in it, cuz he did the first set of 5, and then he did the Egypt books, the 3 Egypt books that he wrote. Then he did the second set of 5, which is the Heroes of Olympus ones with the Camp Jupiter kids, the Roman god kids. And then he did, which is the legit continuation. Like the Egypt ones has like a mention of Percy, but like it's not like about him. Then after the Heroes of Olympus books, he did the Viking mythology ones, the Norse mythology ones with Magnus Chase, who's like a cousin to Annabeth, I believe. And then the most recent set he's doing now is The Trials of Apollo, and he also just did a spin-off book about the son of Hades that shows up later in the series.
So here's my thought on Annabeth. I think they cast her well.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's perfect for what she does. I enjoy her, but I'm sorry, I can't get over that. It's not somebody that looks like Alexander Daddario.
Mm-hmm.
That's just me fan crushing, but
yeah,
like,
well, and they like, and this is one thing my wife has mentioned, and I agree with her as well. Like, they didn't like. They're so prominent in the books on what these kids look like. Like they're very, very focused in the books about these kids' physical appearance. And the movies did it, and now the show is doing it where, yes, to a certain extent, you have to get the best actor for the role. I think Walker Scobell is a perfect casting for Percy. Even though in the book he doesn't look like he does in the book, he's still, I think, the perfect personification when it comes to personality of what I read is Percy. Grover, I think, is fine. You just get a goofy kid who can play embarrassed and can play off goofy. Any goofy actor out there can play Grover to me. Just making sure he's the right age. That one doesn't bother me as much. And Annabeth, they really focus on what Annabeth's physical appearance is. She has gray eyes. She has the long, I believe, brown hair, black hair. Yeah. And it's just they are not like they just didn't. And it's like they even have fan like I'm not gonna have to post. I'm not gonna pull it up on the stream, but oh sorry, she has long blonde hair. She has like a curly blonde hair, like they make these super like detailed drawings on the Rick Riordan, who's the author, on the Riordan wiki. Like he has his own wiki where all these characters have their like drawings. Like they're so focused on the designs and the looks of these characters, and they did it in a movie, and now they're doing it on the show as well, where they're just kind of taking creative freedom, where I think they're just getting the best actor for the role. And that's fine. It's just, it's hard for me when they try to pick the best actor for the role, and then those actors are not very good. I'm trying to not let that bother me, because they're 12 years old. She's
good. But she's not kind of...
Yes.
She's
not what I picture as Annabeth.
And that can be fine too. I'm not. It's not something I'm gonna be hung up on or anything like that. It's just like, all right, it's the only thing that's throwing me off. Like, I love how she's acting it. I think she has the attitude of what, being the demigod,
the daughter of
a god, like especially that god. It's like
Athena,
okay,
yeah, definitely Athena.
It's just like.
Very, very.
I get it.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm just saying, there was something that Alexandria did that just draws me to watch those movies, those older movies, like every time.
To me, she was the best. She was the best part of the movies. Because I think I think Logan did fine as well, but I thought, like, I've seen clips of the movie recently, and man, he was kind of a goofball. Like his acting was not great. I think she was by far the best.
I don't think he had a direction. Like,
I don't think so either.
A direction of where he was going. Like it went from no confidence to mega confidence overnight, and it's like, all right, you got gifted a win in a war game because they're trying to get you to whatever. And that's what I liked so much about how they did the reveal with being Poseidon's kid was he didn't win. He got his ass kicked.
Yep.
He was used by Annabeth to win.
Yep. Listen, this is the thing. I'll get back to what Mrs. Revan's thoughts on this were, because I trust her opinion on it, because these are her. This is her story. She loves these. Like, this is her story. But it's hard sometimes, and I was telling her this last night, and I was telling a lot of people. I try not to, and she was like, I have my opinion. You're not going to change it. And I said, that's totally fine. I'm not trying to change it, especially when it comes to something someone loves. That's why arguing with people about Star Wars online is fucking stupid, because they have their opinions, and because you have a different opinion, it's not going to change. So it's like, I told her that. I said, it's like, I'm not trying to change it. I'm just trying to give my feeling on it, which her thought is, like I said, she likes the show. She likes it to a point. She said they're just taking creative freedoms with things that she read in the book and loves, and she doesn't love the changes. She really thinks this show needs to be longer. This show being 8 episodes is not enough to me, and I agree with that. I think
episodes per book?
No. It's 8 episodes. It's 8 episodes for one book.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, like, yeah. 8
episodes for one book? That's nuts.
No, the next episode, like the next episode, the one they just did, I'm not going to spoil it for you. This is the penultimate. Next week is the finale.
Ah, come on.
Disney does it all the time. I thought it was going to be 12 episodes when I was reading about it. 12 would have been perfect. Because the problem is
I thought it was going to be 16 because they're nowhere near where they need to be.
How many episodes will Percy Jackson have? 8. Yeah, 8 episodes overall. I thought 12 to 16 when I was originally looking it up as well. To me, it's because they've rushed things. Like the hard part is and I mentioned this last night, or after the Lotus episode. The Lotus episode from the book should be 2 episodes for a TV show. The Lotus episode should be the Lotus like part of the book. The Lotus Casino part should be 2 episodes, and it was just the part when they get to like this most recent episode. Not going to spoil it for you, but again, it should have been 2 episodes. The episode they just did in the book. What it was in the book translated to screen for me, which would have been perfect, would be 2 episodes. They're really condensing everything. It feels rushed to me, and I'm worried because if you're trying to rush something that you want to get people in on, how apt is Disney going to be like, you can have a season 2, because they have yet to confirm a season 2. So
I think to see if they're going to get viewership for all 8 episodes.
Mm-hmm. So
which they will for me. Once they all come out, I'll probably binge them while I work one day so that I just have it on and get to see it. But do you want to know me being the dork I am? The one highlight of, other than Edge going, that's fucking Edge. I was so stoked when I realized that Medusa was Jessica Parker Kennedy from Flash.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, that's I was like, I'm racking my brain and I'm like, she's from Flash. I was like so stoked. I'm like, yay, and then I'm like, oh, she's gonna get her head cut off.
Yeah, and that was another arc too in the book. To me, that should have been a 2 episode. That should have been a 2 episode arc. Like it's.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of information in that.
There's a lot of things, and I said this is filmed like a show that Disney didn't really have a whole lot of trust in, a whole lot of like hope behind, and they just kind of gave them $10 million an episode and said, see what you can do. And when they had like you get this is your total, like you get 80 million for the whole series. You get 80 million for the whole series. So you get about 10 million an episode. The movie was about $100 million on its own. The first movie. You're filming a movie about Greek gods and demigods with monsters and all kinds of crazy shit. You should probably have about a $20 million budget an episode, especially if the episodes are only going to be about 30, 35 to 40 minutes. This show doesn't have the budget to succeed the way that it wants to succeed, and I want it to succeed. I do. I like it. I think it's translating what I've read decently well. I'm watching what I read on screen, but I do, from a fan standpoint, see this show and go, yeah, they're kind of rushing that a bit. You can definitely tell this scene didn't have a lot of money. So that's just kind of where I'm at with it. I think it's good. I like it. I'm with you. I like the show. I think it's good. But I also don't disagree with my wife when she says it's missing a lot. It's really missing the mark on some things.
It's missing a lot, but it's more on point with the original source, which
I also
is
said it's for kids.
It is. It's for kids. It's to get kids that just read the books because they had to do a book report come in and see what the rest of the series. My thing is when if they can get to it, if they get renewed, how many episodes are they going to get to do the Labyrinth book?
Coach, after every season from here on out, if it's less than 10 episodes a season, it's going to be rushed. Because book 2, not the best book in the series, but there's a lot of shit that happens. And then as soon as you get into book 3, which I believe is the Titan's Curse, I got them all on my bookshelf over here. I believe book 3 is the Titan's Curse. That's when the Chronos shit starts happening.
Yeah.
Like that's when the shit hits the fan here. And that's when the books start getting bigger. Like to me, like if you're gonna roll into season one, The Lightning Thief, and give me 8 episodes. It's something that's been done. People have seen the movie. People have read the book. They're the ones watching this. Maybe their kids will watch it. Maybe they'll watch it. In a year or two, we'll get season 2. Better be at least 10 episodes, because book 2 has a lot in it. It has more than season 1. To me, it should be 10 episodes. If you're not going to shell out and go to 16, give me at least 10 to 12. Book 3 better be 16 episodes. Book 3 better be 16. Book 3 better be... Season 3 better be double the size of season 1, in my opinion. Because it's so much more complex. It starts getting so complex. That's my opinion. Like I said, I like it, and I have a thought. I have a scene. I can't wait for you to watch this episode that just came out, Coach. It has my favorite scene in the entire series so far. It has my favorite scene in the entire series. And it's because it's the first scene in the whole show to actually make me emotional. I actually got emotional hearing it and seeing it. And I can't wait to talk to you about it because...
Yeah, if I remember correctly, the Battle of the Labyrinth was my favorite of the books.
It's the best of the original 5.
Yeah. That was... So, hopefully we get it. But, you're connected with me on Facebook. You saw the conversation I was having with some of my friends that were also watching the series and very much enjoying it. So I have hope that it's going to keep rolling. But Disney's already shelved with the Willow series, so it's like, all right, that series was actually pretty damn good too, but you just kicked it to your vault for no apparent reason.
Yep.
I think the Willow series didn't do anywhere near what they wanted it to.
Yeah.
And they just said, we're going to cut our losses, put it away for a while, and then we'll bring it back out and see what happens.
Yeah. The Willow series is what I'm worried about happening to this. Now, the difference I think this has on the Willow series is the Willow series had generations of fans.
Yeah, but it didn't do well as far as just watching.
No. That's what I meant. Like the Willow, the original Willow, the fans of Willow are old. They're like, I'm not saying you're old, but the fans of Willow are even older than you. You're younger than my dad. My dad was a Willow buff. My dad loved Willow. My dad's dad liked Willow. That's... Was it
84?
Yeah. 84? Willow... Yeah. You grew up watching Willow, whereas my dad was, if that came out in 84, my dad was about, I think, what? How old was he? Almost 20? My dad was 15 when that came out.
But it was also in the height of, I think that was right after Jedi, so it was the first thing Luke did that wasn't Jedi.
Yeah.
So anybody that was a Star Wars fan said, "Oh, Lucas is making another, sci-fi. Let's go." And your dad and me and most of my friends, we fell right into that kind of
that niche. It's like I look at Willow, and I said I was talking to some people about this. I said the Willow series has me concerned for this, and the reason why it does is because I have two points. I have a point that supports my theory, and I have a point that makes me go, I don't think it will fall into the same hole, because the point that supports it is Willow had way more support behind it from Disney because it was an original Lucasfilm thing, and so many people wanted it. People saw the trailers and went, "Holy shit, that's going to be great!" And it just didn't get the support, and it didn't get it didn't get the love that they wanted it to have. And you have things like Percy, where people were like, when they saw the trailers, they were like, "That didn't look the greatest," or some people were like, "That looked all right." Some people were like, "That actually looked decently good." And then the show's out, and now everyone's just kind of like, "This show's fine." I don't think, I worry Disney's looking at it and going, "This isn't successful enough for us." And I hope that they don't do that, because this show, this story has so much potential. This is just the first set of books, and you've got obviously the Lightning Thief 1, the Sea of Monsters is the second one. Look how worn out these are. Look at this. This is the Titan's Curse. This is the third book. You ready for this? Ready, Coach? Watch this. That's how much it's been read. It's split in half. We split the back of it. That's how much it's been read.
I got the other books.
Yeah, the Titan's Curse is amazing. Then you've got your favorite, the Battle of the Labyrinth. This right here, these three The Titan's Curse, Battle of the Labyrinth, and The Last Olympian. These are the last 3 books in this series. These are for sure probably what we're going to get out of the show. And right at book 3 is when shit starts getting complex, in my opinion, for the Percy Jackson storyline. And if they don't let this play out, if they shit on Reardon, it's going to be horrible. And I'm going to feel bad for him. Because you have, like, that's the other thing I told Rihanna. I said, our boy Rick loves it. Like, he made this. Like, this is his. He allowed this to be put to screen. If Rick trusts this show, I trust the show. Yes, there's some creative freedoms, but I feel like he wouldn't have made these changes if he didn't feel like they were for the best.
Like, I mean, the changes don't bother me. I just go, oh, well, that's a little bit different, and then I move on. Like, you know, getting thrown off by how they do something is not that big of a deal. The story is what I like. I do think they're doing something. I don't know. Maybe you can remind me, but I don't remember the angst between the gods being that. I don't know. Maybe it's just how I'm thinking about it. The books in my mind with the gods going at each other was a little bit different than what I'm perceiving them telling me they are.
It wasn't really as prominent in the books. They really just hit you over the head with the fact that Percy, Annabeth, and Grover know what's going on, and they have a lot of messages, like the Iris messages. They do a lot of those with Camp and Chiron and Luke.
So good. I'm so happy they put that. They didn't throw that out. Like,
me too. They have way more of those in the books with them, and that's where they're getting their information about what's going on. This show has really leaned into visually, and I think that's why, is because they only have 8 episodes to tell you the whole story. Like, the only way to tell you that there's some angst going on is to sit down with Edge as Ares for 10 minutes and him to tell you what's going on. Like, that's the best way for them to get it across to you in a quick manner.
But that didn't throw me out.
No, I agree.
When they have to do that, it's like there was never a narrative like that from a character within the book. That I felt was well within it. They just added to it, which took them away from having to do those other ancillary things that would have bogged down the show.
If you want my honest opinion in terms of why it doesn't take me out of it, anything with the gods right now is what's keeping me super invested. The gods are the best part right now, and to me, and that's what Mrs. Revan said. She says everything that is like fantasy, like the other worlds and the gods, like all that is what's keeping me super interested because of how well it's done. Like Lin-Manuel Miranda as Hermes, perfect. He is Hermes to me. Like that. What a great casting.
I wanted him to do a singing number just for the fun of it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like,
or come up with the conversation with like how he did with Hamilton. Like, just
yeah. And then Edge is Ares, amazing casting, perfect casting. And then because I know who's been cast as Poseidon. Did you ever watch Black Flag? Basically, it's a prequel, it's a pirate show, and it's a prequel to the Treasure Island storyline. Like, Long John Silver, Captain Flint, he plays Captain Flint. And when I heard that he was casted as Poseidon in this, I was fucking pumped. Because Toby Stephens as Poseidon is such a great casting. Phenomenal. I was so jacked when I heard that. And then Lance.
I like Chiron. I wish it was Bond.
Brosnan again? Yeah, that's what Rihanna said. Rihanna's like, Brosnan was so good. And Lance Reddick, R.I.P. Rest in peace, baby. Lance Reddick is gonna be. I can't wait to see him as Zeus. He's a great. He's gonna be a great Zeus, and it's so sad he's dead.
You know why it makes him a great Zeus? Because all in your head, all you're thinking of is he's the head guy of the John Wick hotel.
Yep.
He walking in that stoic chiseled face and the bald head, just like, he's a badass.
Just him in a suit and his voice. he's gonna be a phenomenal Zeus, and I can't wait to see it. But my biggest takeaway to me is the most intriguing thing to me in this show is the gods and not the kids, and that's what kind of makes it hard for me to like stay. Like, I'm not like super pumped to watch every episode. Like, that's where I'm at. And you reminding me that this show was originally like, it was. I believe you're right. I think this show was originally pegged to be like 12 to 16 episodes, and then finding out that it's only 8.
Cut it down.
Crazy to me. Like, I think I agree with you. Somehow, somewhere, some way, a report got out what this episode this episode was supposed to be like 12 to 16 episodes long, and somewhere along the line, Disney cut it in half, and that actually pisses me off because this show, these books need time to tell the story. Like, that's like
if they get to the other books, they better not cut out the scenes where the what's Chiron's, the name of the Chiron species.
Oh, not Minotaur. That's all my brain is thinking of. Centaurs.
Yeah, there's one point in the book where they run the kids, or it just like had that hippie vibe, and I'd like to see what they actually come up with
the party ponies.
Yeah, the party ponies. Yeah.
That's Rihanna's favorite part of the books is the party ponies, and she told me that. Last week after watching last week's episode, she goes, if they take out the party ponies, she's like, I'm going to lose my mind. She's like, I will not, this show will be, this show will be dead to me if they take out the party ponies. That's just, and I agree, actually. I like, the party ponies in the book were fucking awesome. They were hilarious.
And I don't know why that pops in my head, but like that's like one of the best parts of the book that that just kind of pops into my head every now and then. I'm like, party ponies,
yeah. The party ponies. But yeah, ultimately, my final thoughts on the show. I think it's a good show. It's definitely not, and you should watch it. Yes, you should definitely watch it. My ultimate thoughts are my expectations for it were too high. I gave Disney too much credit. It's not bad, but I was definitely way more excited for this and had way higher hopes than I probably should have. I probably should have dumbed my.
You shouldn't have had.
No, I really should have. If you haven't seen it and you love Percy Jackson, lower your expectations. It's not bad. It's just, if you love the books, they do change some things, and they definitely don't give it enough time to breathe. Because I like, the thing with this most recent episode, Coach, is last week's episode ended, like, remember where the ending was, and you get to the most recent episode, and you're just kind of like, whoa, how'd we get here? Is kind of where, like, at the start of it, you're kind of like, how'd we get here? So
of the two things we've already talked about today, I was thinking of something, and I'm going to give a recommendation. And for Echo, it's gonna be a 5-spoon rating. Okay, 5 is the best, 1 is the worst.
5 spoons, baby.
5
I love it.
Rating. Go see it. Don't have any. It's just good quality show.
I agree. 5 spoons
Jackson,
for you, boy.
I give it 3.5 to 4 spoons. It's not a 5 because I think that there's some holes, but the spoon rating for Percy is 3.5 spoons. The spoon rating for me or Echo is 5.
Yeah, I agree. I think I would give Echo 4.5 to 5 spoons. I'd probably lean more to 5 because, like I said, when you have to really dig and nitpick for negative things in a show, and you still come out of talking about those things that you found, that you struggled finding, and said it actually wasn't all that bad in the end, there's really not much to dislike about the show. And, ooh, those are very pretty.
Oh,
sorry, Mrs. Revan is showing me your nails. Ooh, I like those. It's your favorite color. And Jake, he's been here the whole time. He just needed to get food, and we were starting out talking about Echo and Percy Jackson. Dink hasn't seen those, so.
Well, let's before
Jank with an N.
Dink.
Jank.
Before we get too far into the other stuff, it came out in December. Most people probably have seen it, but Aquaman was a 3-spooner for me.
I have not seen Aquaman yet.
I enjoyed it. I thought Amber Heard was in it more than I thought she was going to be.
Mm.
But you could tell she was much bigger in the storyline before the trial. So that's why I'm at 3.5 spoons on that, because I think they should have just left the original story, because I think the original story was probably better.
Yeah.
You know, he's a bitch. She's whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She's proven to be a liar. So that's on her. But you ruined what could have been a 5-spoon movie and crashed it for a 3.5 spoon movie.
I'll be damned. All right. Well, I'm waiting until it comes out on Disney Plus, or not Disney Plus, on Max to watch it.
Marvels are coming out on the 8th of February.
How many spoons out of 5? I'll follow up Coach's spoon rating. Echo, I'll give Echo a 5 spoons out of 5. It was very good. Like I said, when you got to nitpick for negatives and you still find positives in those negatives, it's not a bad show. And then for Percy Jackson, I'm gonna give Percy Jackson a 3 out of 5 spoons. 3 out of 5 spoons. I'm leaning towards 3.5, but hopefully the finale actually translates well. So 3 out of 5 spoons for Percy Jackson. And I have not seen Aquaman yet, but the Marvels, I will give the Marvels a 3.5 out of 5 spoons. I thought the Marvels was a very entertaining movie.
That I will wait for February 8th when it comes out.
Not a bad movie. It's actually a fun time. There is a scene in that movie that made me go, "Whoa!" That was actually kind of entertaining.
I heard it was ass.
It was fun. It wasn't it's not gonna win any Oscars, but it was a fun. It was a fun, entertaining movie. Better than the first Miss Marvel. Yeah. My new man crush is in that movie, by the way. 100%. Huh?
Man crush?
My new man crush. Yes, he has surpassed Ryan Reynolds for your boy. 100%.
Not there yet.
You'll see him in the movie when you see it. It's actually it was actually quite striking to see it. But no, I'm not. Everyone's got a man crush. Everyone's got a celebrity crush of an opposite sex, and everyone's got a celebrity crush of the same sex. Everyone's got one. Jank, Coach didn't call you anything. Mrs. Revan, my wife, called you Jank from State Farm. That's what my wife called you.
Who's everyone's man crush?
Jank from State Farm. That's funny.
Who's everyone's man crush?
Here, I'll show. Here, let me pull up his name again. Coach, can I guess what yours is?
Sure, go ahead.
Ryan Reynolds.
No.
Fuck.
Good. It's just he's overrated, man.
Zachary Levi, baby.
Oh, really? Wow, Shazam. All right, I'll take that. That's a decent one.
For me, it's close between Johnny Depp or Hugh Jackman.
Johnny Depp or Hugh Jackman? Johnny Depp's up there for me. He's in my top 3. My new one is Park Soo-joon. He is I believe a K-pop singer, and he was in the Marvels, and boy oh boy is he a handsome fella. He is a good looking guy, man. Oh, who's your man crush, Wenchi? Who's your woman crush?
Woman crush.
Here, I'm gonna share my screen with you for a split second, Dink, and I'm gonna show you guys who this guy is. Here, I'm gonna share my screen with you guys. I want you guys to see this man. That's him.
Hold on.
He's a good looking fella. He's a very good looking fella, and he's good looking.
Need to put it away.
Your woman crush is pink? Okay, all right, I'll take that, Wenchi. That's a good one. Paul Rudd or John Krasinski? Fair. You are a hoe, Wenchi. Paul Rudd or John Krasinski? Paul Rudd's a good one, actually. So, now, on to the show that Dink has actually watched. That all 3 of us have actually watched.
He's watched?
Reacher. The show Reacher. Actually, he's actually in my top 3 man crush as well. Alan Richardson.
Okay, are we starting with season 1 or are we starting with season 2?
I think we should give our general thoughts on what we thought of the show in season 1, because for me it was definitely a like, what am I getting into with the show, and then we don't even need to spend much time on it at all. Like overall thoughts on season 1. I definitely felt like it was a test drive for a series, and boy did it fucking pedal to the fucking metal, dude. That first season was badass, man. It didn't miss
Really good.
at all. It was great. And Alan Ritchson is a inhuman-sized man. Just unbelievable. Go ahead, Coach.
We're talking about Reacher, Soltis.
Reacher season 1, first episode. It took me the first episode to get over the fact it wasn't Hawk. Once I got over the fact it wasn't Hawk anymore.
Hawk from Titans.
Oh.
I got into the show and realizing that they are following. They're more on point with the original content, meaning the character's more on point with the content. Alan's acting it in a way that is more to the original content.
Yep.
With a different flavor, and it makes you realize Tom Cruise sucks ass.
Yeah, he's not reaching.
I don't know why they caught.
This is how it should have been.
Yes.
Like badass, no nonsense. He can kill anybody with his thumb at any point. Like, plus, the dude is jacked beyond belief.
Like,
he's been jacked. The football TV show from FX so many years, Blue Mountain State.
Blue Mountain
like,
State.
That's where I
Castle,
first
man.
saw him. Thad.
Same, dude. Same.
And then he was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Yep.
Like, and then he was Hawk. I'm like, so I liked the dude beforehand.
Yeah.
So that was easy to change, but just the fact that those episodes are just constant in your face. If you don't pay attention, you miss something, and you're lost. Like, you have to pay attention. You have to be in it. You have to be aware of what they're talking about, who they're talking to, and when they're talking about it. Like, season 1, I'm sad some of the characters from season 1 weren't back, but that's not the book line. That's not what that story is.
It actually strayed away from its like niche by bringing back Finley in season 2. Like they don't they just don't do that. Like the books don't do that. Like
but that's okay. It wasn't out of place. Like I've never read a Reacher book at all, so I have no background. But to me, it didn't seem like it was just a reach. It just seemed like it was
pun intended.
And I will tell you, my new kind of my new crush that's not a man crush is this Maristine.
Oh yeah, Marlo.
Yeah.
No, so
Neagley. If you watch the show, her name's Neagley.
Yeah. Dink, what were your thoughts on Reacher? Like, just general thoughts. Reacher season 1 when you first saw it.
Me?
Yeah, you. General thoughts season 1.
Yeah, I mean, I kept shorts of the show of just like little clips of him just being a fucking badass, kicking the shit out of everybody. And I was like, all right, I can't just. At this point, I'm gonna watch the whole show through reels or whatever. I might as well just watch this.
What is going on with your mic?
Yeah, what's wrong with your mic? You're kind of in and out.
He's all in and out, baby.
How's this? Is this better or worse?
100% better.
Okay, and I'm not cutting out?
Nope. No. You're good.
Okay. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, I was watching the show with, like, fucking YouTube shorts, and I'm like, at some point, you know, I might as well just watch it. I have Amazon Prime. So I finally was like, okay. I binged watched the entire 2 seasons in, like, I don't know, like a week. And the show is just really good. And it's not, I don't dislike Tom Cruise as Reacher, but that was probably because, like, the show didn't exist at the time. And now after you see, I don't even remember the actor's name, whatever his name is.
Alan
the big
Ritchson.
fuck. Alan Ritchson. Yeah, when you see him play it, it's like, so this is like, I believe this. When I see this guy, I think of an ex-military guy. When I'm seeing the Reacher movie, I'm seeing, oh, this is Tom Cruise playing an action hero, not this is an action hero. It's like, oh,
Yep.
Tom Cruise is doing some badass stunts, and he's great. But like this, I actually believe that he is this character, and
Yep.
you know, it's he's just I feel like you could throw him in as any action hero. Like, you know, I love Matt Damon as Jason Bourne, but if you sub this guy in, all of a sudden maybe Matt Damon isn't so amazing anymore. You know, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's
Jesus
a
Christ,
little.
it's Jason Bourne.
It's like it's a little unfair to like this guy is a mountain of a man. Like, you know, anyone like, you know, could be, you know, lose their job for this guy. Like if it's an action role, you know, like this guy is like, you know, I'm looking forward to see what other movies he does or you know, other shows.
It's like we said earlier, he's Inhuman, dude.
Yeah, like it's kind of a crazy fucking. He's just fucking jacked as hell. Like it's like an insane physique.
He's 6'3", 240. Like he's enormous.
Yeah.
And it's like I was talking to like so Rihanna, my Mrs. Revan's grandpa. He loves the Reacher books. I believe he's read all of them. And when he was visiting last time, he was talking to us about it because he had just recently discovered the first season, and he actually decently enjoyed the Reacher movies with Cruise. He's like, I watched the first season. He's like, I watched that first season of Reacher, and it was like the book that it adapted. It was like it was on screen. Like when we were talking about Percy Jackson just now, Coach. Like the Reacher books are books that you can adapt in 8 episodes, 8 or 9 episodes. The Percy Jackson books you can't adapt in 8 or 9 episodes. And here's the other difference: the episodes of Reacher are actually a full hour long, whereas you got the Disney Plus things that are doing those weird 30-minute things. So it's like, it's just one of those where it's like you've got Reacher that is perfectly adapting these stories, and he was like talking about how it really hammers home in the books. This man is inhuman. He's inhumanly strong. He's inhumanly smart. Like he's not normal. He is the Terminator without being metal. Like that's what he is. Like and they showed it in the trailer for the second season. We'll get to the second season in a second. He walks up to a fucking car and kicks the car, and the airbag deploys. Like that's just a simple little example of what his strength is. Like, and then there's a scene in the first season where he lifts a fucking car. Like he lifts up a car for someone to fix a tire or something like that. Like he's just like one thing that our grandpa was talking about was the scene in the first season when he kills those military guys out by the barn and stuffs them in the trunk, and he bends their legs backwards to fit them in.
Yeah.
Like a person can't do that. You can't snap a guy's legs backwards like that. You can't do that with your bare hands. Like it's small things that you watch.
You could.
That just not as easy as he did it. Like he just like I don't know. It's just season 2 was better than season 1. Yes, are we all in agreement on that, or did you guys like season 1 better?
I don't know if I like one over the other.
I think they're both equally.
They're both
damn
different.
Good.
They're both different. Yeah, they're both like I have zero complaints with either.
Right.
And
I like
The
that.
complaint I have is I missed the blonde lady in the first season, and now he's carousing with this other lady now. You know.
It's Serinda Swan, and
Serinda Swan.
Like, they upped the hotness game because in my humble, I'm just a dirty old man opinion. You have Serinda, and then you have the girl that plays freaking Neely. Like,
Yeah.
like those two, and then you go back and watch the first season. I'm like, Will is actually pretty hot too. So it's like, all right, they got some good looking women that can act.
Yeah. And do some stunts, dude. Coach,
Yeah.
Coach, how old are you?
47.
You're not exactly a creepy old man. Did you hear how? Do you know how old Serinda Swan is? She's 40, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, can we also talk about how old Alan Ritchson's 41 years old? He looks like that at 41 going on 42.
Every interview that I've seen with him, and especially the one with the guy that played Lex Luthor from Smallville, Like,
Yeah.
that podcast is really good. I don't remember the name of it, but I watch it occasionally, and I
Mhm.
watched it. Alan said that he goes, I worked. He did more stuff for season 2 because season 1 he said he was a zombie, so he worked out even harder for season 2 than season 1, and he said it's a grind. He goes, the stuff he has to do to stay in shape, be able to
God.
get through the grind is so hard that
Mhm.
when he was done shooting, like you could see he's gotten smaller from the
Yeah.
interviews after.
Oh
So
yeah.
when he has to gear up for season 3, like he's gonna go knuck and futz again. I just hope because I'm now what some people would call a gym rat. We talk
Mhm.
about
Mhm.
Ronnie Coleman, right? Ronnie Coleman, he can't barely walk because he's broke his back like 8 times and had so many steroids. I hope he's not doing any of that because it's going to negatively affect him.
Yeah.
I hope he's like. I'm not
Right.
saying he is. I'm just saying sometimes you're desperate to keep going and you do it. But
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well,
because
and
if you remember him from other stuff, he was muscular, but he wasn't.
he wasn't enormous. Yeah. Like I look at things like when we're talking like we talk about season 2 here, I think the reason I think I like it better than season 1 is I'm kind of I enjoy ensemble stuff. Like I think I like the fact that he was with 3 of his other like team members or what do you want to call them? Um 3 of his other like military buddies that were helping him solve this mystery of what was going on, and it was just more characters, more interaction, where season 1 was a lot of just him, which maybe I got to get used to that.
You needed.
Well,
That's
exactly.
What you needed.
I think we need to get used to that. I was talking, and that's another thing Mrs. Revan was talking to me about the other night when we finished it. She's like, that season 1 is more of what the Reacher books are. That's going to be more of the season, like that's going to be more of what the show is than the season you just got. The books will occasionally bring these characters back as like a surprise. Like someone was talking about, he was reading these books and you meet these characters in the one book and then you have this whole story where they're hunting down all these people and then they don't show up again. There's 23 books I think, and they don't show up again until like 8 books later. Like, so it's just a lot of like just fun fan service later where it's like, whoa, there they are, and it's like you just gotta get used to like every single. You got Dink. You mentioned it earlier, and Coach, you mentioned it earlier. They're so like it's hard to compare the 2 episodes because they are so different. But that's just what the books are. Every book is a different story with new people and new places.
I think they're gonna get into a area where I think this is gonna be more of that. Somebody's going to be coming back from the previous season, whether it's Neagley, whether it's Malcolm or Oscar, whatever their real whatever their
Oscar
character
Finley,
name
yeah.
is. Like, I think if you don't do that and be consistent with it, you'll lose people. So there's still going to be that. I haven't read a book, so I don't know if there's
Neither
a
have I,
consistent
yeah.
or if there's an alternating consistency of some of these characters. I loved the characters of. What was the battalion name? 103. I want to say the 501st, but it wasn't 501st. It was like the 103,
1/10.
103rd, 110th. So those characters of 110th, like I'd like to see some of the characters from 110th pop up in other seasons because we've seen them, we know about them, and it would fit with what they're doing with kind of these cast members that disappear and come back.
Yeah.
Like I like to see Oscar back. Definitely like to see Neagley in every season. And I think they put a stamp on Dixon. Like I don't think she's gonna come back, even though she's.
OD probably. I don't think O'Donnell will come back.
And you know what? The kid play O'Donnell. Like I really hated him at first, but by the end, I liked him.
Yeah, he was awesome. Mm-hmm.
When you saw him as the 110th, you're like, he's a douchebag.
He's a
dickhead.
Then, I think, and that was the point.
Yeah, I mean,
Such
I understand that's the point. It's
quick character development.
Yeah, and when you bring in Terminator to be the big baddie, that's just fucking awesome.
Yeah, Robert Patrick. He was, dude. He's such a good bad guy. My God, he's such a good bad guy. Dink, do you have any negatives from the series? Like, do you have any like season 2 specifically? Anything stand out that you didn't really like in season 2 of Reacher? Dink.
Where's the Dink? I'm in Dink.
Sorry, my audio cut out. What'd you say?
Anything about season 2 of Reacher that you didn't like? If you had to pinpoint something.
Honestly, no. I mean, it's not over yet. I don't think, right?
That's over.
Still a couple
Season
more.
2?
Oh, then I'm an episode behind. Then I didn't finish.
Oh, are you only on
completely?
You only do episode
Yeah,
7.
I still have like I think I'm like halfway through the last episode.
Oh, just
but,
no. There's nothing wrong with the last episode.
All right. Well, then I think it should. I really. It's just a great show. It's a 10, man.
I was thrown off by that last episode like 3 times.
Oh yeah, same.
This is gonna be what? No. What's that? God damn it! Just
Oh,
give me it.
My balls were in my chest at one point. I was like, no, you might know what part I'm talking about. There's a part in the helicopter coach. I don't know if Dink's gotten to that point yet. I thought I was gonna throw up. I was like, no. Like there was a point where Rihanna was like, shut the door, shut the door, shut the door. Like the door just stayed open the whole time. No, I agree. Like, Coach, you'll probably agree with me on this. This has Echo treatment. This has Echo vibes for me. Every time I try to nitpick something I didn't like about it, I find something in that nitpick was still cool. Like, even though I was like, oh well, maybe not, I was still kind of like, okay, all right. Like, and that the show leans into the willing suspension of disbelief bullshit, where you'll see things and you'll go, no fucking shot. Well, that's the point. Like, that's just who Reacher is. Because there were points where both Rihanna and I were like, no shot, and she was like, well, that's the point, Wyatt, and I was like, oh, that's the point, babe. Like, so many times, like that. That's why I think Reacher's so fun. Like, it's just a sit down and watch some fucking badass action with really cool intrigue and mystery, for just like we did it for 8. Like, we watched 8 episodes in 2 days. Like,
yeah, for the thing that just sticks out in my head that I didn't like, just because I wanted to see more of him, was Russo.
yeah.
I thought the development of the character as kind of that shady guy,
Oh, yeah.
and then all of a sudden comes out that he is probably the coolest fucking dude that Reacher's run into since season 1. So it's like,
dude, I forgot about that.
Why you going out like that, bro?
Russo's death broke me. I actually cried. Like, there were points.
Spoilers! I'm definitely.
I thought that's not the last
Wait,
episode.
that wasn't the last episode,
Oh,
Dink.
man, I'm way behind then. Oh shit! I'm 2 episodes behind. All right.
Oh my
I'm just
God!
here. I'm gone.
Oh my God! He said he was done. I thought you said you were done. No way, dude. I thought he said he was done with it.
Oopsie.
And then he says he's an episode behind. So I was like, I thought we were fucking safe here. Oh my God, he's 2 episodes behind. You're like, well, spoilers. Both Coach and I were like, that's not the last episode. I'm like,
well, I had to think about it. I'm like, no, that was the episode before the finale. Like,
oh, Becco, please
be lying.
make that a clip. That's hilarious, dude. My God. I'm so sad now. I can't believe I just ruined that for him. No! I'm so sorry, man.
I was trying to keep it generic, but you just freaking...
Well, it's been done for 2 weeks.
Hell, you know, it's Dink. He's still...
It's been done for 2... Well, it's not even just that. That's why I wasn't worried so much about spoilers in the video, us talking. Oh my God, no way, dude. Oh, I can't believe I just ruined that for him. Oh my God, man. I feel so bad. Oh my God. When he's like, I'm halfway through the last episode, I was like, oh, we're good then. We're good. I can talk about the thing that made me really fucking sad. It made me really sad. shit, where do we go from here? It's like, I think, like, we said everything we need to say, like, and I ruined a huge fucking twist at the end of the season. Screw that. How about doing your homework for the show? Shape up, Dink. That's awesome, dude. Okay. All right. Hold on. I'm going to tell him we're done. We're done, man. Fat.
All right. So I will give you my spoon rating.
Give me your spoon rating.
For Reacher season 1, 5, season 2, 5, overall 5. Go goddamn see it or you're wrong.
Agreed. Spoon rating. Reacher season 1, 5 out of 5 spoons. Season 2, 5 out of 5 spoons. Go fucking see it. There's no negatives in this show. This show is just run, gun, badass. Can anyone else tell me why I fucking want this guy as Batman? He is just... Oh. Like, if I could just see him in the suit... He doesn't even need to be Bruce Wayne, because I don't know if he could pull off Bruce Wayne. I think he's too rugged for Bruce Wayne. But in terms of just the physical look of Batman, he's got it. And it would be very hard for me. I feel like I know where you're going to go with this, Coach. Very difficult for me to see him as Batman and not see Hawk.
It's the Hawk thing for me.
Yeah, that's what Rihanna said. Rihanna says the same thing. She's like, I don't think I could see him as Batman and not see Hawk the whole time.
It's like Aquaman being Lobo. Like, I don't see it. Like, he's Aquaman. Don't make him do another character.
I think the difference for me, though, is with Jason Momoa as Lobo. I think he's going to do the character of Lobo incredibly different from what he does as Aquaman. And I think he's also going to be, because of the CG and what they're going to make him look like, it'll be enough of a difference. But I get where you're coming from. With Hawk with Alan Ritchson playing Batman, and Hawk at the same time. I mean, when you type in Alan Ritchson as Batman and you go to Google Images, one of the first pictures in here, now it's not one of the first pictures, but one of the first pictures in here was literally him as Hawk, and the colors of his Hawk suit were just changed to black and gray instead of blue and white.
I will tell you, he'll be better than Batfleck.
He would be better than Ben Affleck. He would be better than Ben Affleck. Like, here, this is the one. Like, this is it, Dink.
The answer is yes. He's better than Ben Affleck.
He would be better than Ben Affleck. This picture right here, Coach. This is like literally it's his Hawk suit, just black and gray.
Yeah.
It's literally all it is.
That's what Dove.
That's Dove, yeah, as Batgirl. But, like, you look at these other ones, and there's, like someone did this picture of him. Oh, my, and it's just, like...
Well, they missed because he's buffer than that.
Yeah, where's the one? I was literally just looking at it. Like,
no, the one Batman that I got you for Fortnite, that is Alan Richardson's body style.
Yeah! Yeah, that's Alan Richardson. Yeah, the one you got me on Fortnite with the sleeves, like, no sleeves. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
I think if he dyed his hair black, I think he could pull it off as long, because he could still have that stoic businessman look, and have a little bit more personality. It's like the Reacher look when he's in a business suit, and you just give him a little bit more personality, and I think
a little more personality. Yep, agreed. He would be kind of like the Daniel Craig take on James Bond. He's a little more rugged, not as clean shaven and playboy looking. He's more of a rugged. He's still gonna win the girl over because he's very charming. Where Alan Ritchson, he's a good looking guy, just like Daniel Craig's a good looking guy, but he's not drop dead gorgeous. He's not drop dead gorgeous.
I will say Daniel Craig fits right into the mold of, like, if they actually give it to Alba, that will be badass. Like, because it's not that typical bullshit, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Like, when it comes to Batman, I just think if with what they're doing with James Gunn and stuff, if you want a good Batman, I think you gotta have.
You spoiled it. He's sad.
I know. I feel so fucking bad, dude. Oh my god, I can't believe that it happened. Jake's comment was hilarious, man. I cannot believe that happened. I felt so fucking bad. That's crazy. That was wild. When he oh, what a great clip that's gonna make. Now he has to go watch it tonight. He has to do nothing else but just finish it. Or now he might have to wait for a couple weeks until he forgets what I said and let it still get to him.
All right, so let's pivot. Let's pivot to what did we see the trailer for the Indiana Jones game?
Oh, Indiana Jones game trailer? Yes.
Yeah.
And holy shit, I want to play that game.
I'm on the fence, but I will play it.
I want to play it. That Indiana Jones game looks so fun.
I mean, it looks fun. I'm trying not to get too excited for it because every game that I've gotten excited for the last 2 or 3 years has always kind of fell flat. Like Star Wars Legos, I was like, yes, this is awesome. And one movie into that, I'm like, this is grindy as hell. I hate it.
Yeah, I feel that same way.
The Fallen Order and I love those. I only play them when I got the time to sit down and actually enjoy it. Because I want to enjoy the story. I want to keep do the things, see what I can find throughout the world, stuff like that. But like other than the Fallen Order and the Survivor, it's like every game I play is garbage.
Yeah,
like I can't get into them.
We're just in a weird limbo where there's not a whole lot of like fun games out there. Like I look at, like you said, like they're just. I agree with you. I don't have a whole lot to add. Like I just don't have a game right now that I'm in love with playing. Like I just want to sit down and I want to play Pal World with a couple of pals, and I want to try and get into that a little bit and see what I actually think about that. Like I want to play that. I want to play it with Tiny. Like I want to see if he wants to play on stream one day. I got other buddies that play it. Huh?
Pokemon with guns.
Pokemon with guns, baby. I just want to. I want to give it a shot. I couldn't get through Tomb Raider in space. What's Tomb Raider in space? Nice try, buddy.
Hello. Housekeeping. You want me for pillow? As far as I'm trying not to get too hyped for it. I'll probably get it. I will enjoy. I'm hoping I'll enjoy it, but I'm between that and every other game. It's like, oh, Penny, you excited for the open world game, Star Wars game? I'm like,
no,
I don't know. I can't tell you yes, because if it doesn't hit this narrative of enough of old school with enough new school intertwined, it's just gonna drive me nuts. And if you put too much grinding bullshit in there without a lot of fun and story, then I'm just gonna kind of walk my ass away.
I don't think I'm gonna be excited for a Star Wars game until Battlefront 3.
That's not happening.
I know it won't. And that's the thing is I see, like, when they announced Fallen Order, like Jank said Fallen Order, when they announced that, I was like, yeah, they set it up that there was going to be a second one. I still have yet to play the game. I haven't been excited for a game since Hogwarts Legacy.
And how'd that turn out? That thing died faster than anything. Like
I
think Newt played it, right? Mm-hmm. A little bit. And he was off of it after probably 2 weeks because he couldn't get things to load. It kept lagging out on him. Like,
I agree, Andrew. I agree. It says EA has a folder of Battlefront 3 somewhere. It's like 70 to 75% done. They just never fucking released it. I completely agree.
No, it's the old Battlefront. It's not the 2017 version. Or
yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yep. Whoops. No, listen. I have not gotten excited for a game since Hogwarts Legacy. I was excited. I'm still excited to play Hogwarts Legacy, and I want to get back into Hogwarts. I still have it on my desktop. I remember when I was playing it, I got to the Sorting Hat ceremony, and I thought my fucking PC was gonna take off and go to fucking outer space. Like, it was just going. And I was talking to Nooch about it, and Nooch was like, you really gotta lower your settings down, because it really kicks your settings into high gear. dude, my PC was a zooming. The game was lagging. I was scared, dude, and I have yet to turn it back on. But I still want to play it. But like, it's like you said about Lego Star Wars, Coach. It's grindy as hell. Grindy. Man. Like there's so much shit.
You gotta have some fun and some goofy shit just to break up the monotony of all these challenges that are like.
Yeah, there's just so much shit in the game to do, and it's just like you gotta like it's grindy, man. And it's like if you want the full story, you gotta do each house. You gotta do Gryffindor, Slytherin, Hufflepuff, and Ravenclaw, and it's just like it's grindy, man. And it's like I have yet to be like. Because I'm big, like I want to play games with my friends. I want to play games with the community. I want to do that. Hogwarts Legacy is not a game you can do that with. Not until they officially release the multiplayer thing that they've been talking about releasing. Like,
but they're not going to do that if no one's playing.
They're not going to do that if no one's playing it. They dropped the ball by not releasing it within the same not within the same year, but within at least a year of the game coming out. Yeah.
Within a week. It's got to be within a week. It can't be within a year. It can't be.
You gotta drop a multiplayer.
And if you do it past a year, you have to do it in a huge ass event where it's like Christmas Eve or whatever it is, and have special whatever's if you show up then.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look at my library on Epic Games, like what I have. Right. I have all the Tomb Raiders. I haven't loaded them at all.
Mm-hmm.
Got Survivor, which couldn't really work on my computer. The rest of them are all like Ghostbusters. Oh, Tiny Tina's. Like I got through a quarter of that up to where Butt Pony got killed. Like, and then it kind of stopped on that because that I was having fun with it. It was grindy, and really nobody was watching it on Twitch at that point. Yeah. So I was like, I'm done with it. And the rest there are just sports games or multiplayer games like Fortnite, Rogue One, or Rogue Company, Rocket League, Among Us.
Oh, I'm a fucking idiot, dude. I just realized what Jenk was saying in the comments. Fallen Order is 100% Tomb Raider in space. He's calling Fallen Order Tomb Raider in space. 100% what it is.
Technically it is.
I just now read that as what he was saying, and I was like 100%. Actually, you want to know what a game I'm actually excited for? I am excited for this game. And NCAA College Football 2014 or 2024. College Football 2024. When that comes out, I may not play anything else again.
Yeah, because now you can actually play with the players. You don't have to. You don't have to backdoor it like you used to.
True Dynasty, dude. You can play with the players, the actual players. The transfer portal's open, dude. You can play as fucking Rice, and you can go into the transfer portal and send and throw your NIL collective at Quinn Ewers to come play for Rice, dude. Like, I'm so intrigued by that game. It's like I hate to pivot right to fucking sports, but it's just like that game, I like, and the online aspect, like the rumor that you're gonna be able to do online Dynasty with your friends, like all of your friends can join the same fucking like you can all be Big Ten teams or you can all be SEC teams and you can play each other in the like you can start a dynasty and put that into an online dynasty, and you can play the season and the dynasty with each other. Like I'm not sure if Dink is into college football video games, but I know for sure, Coach, you, me, and Tiny might not ever touch another game again if we're doing that, dude. Like, I've tried to have fun with the Madden games, but this game might nail it, man.
I don't know. If I'm gonna play a football game, it's gonna be Madden.
Whew, I think this college game is gonna be groundbreaking.
I'm just an NFL guy, so it's just like...
That's fair. I just all of the aspects of what this game is gonna have is gonna be so intricate and so interesting to play, and that's why I can't wait for it. Being able to like deal with the transfer portal, recruiting, NIL, like it's gonna be very, very interesting. The coaching carousel, like coaches getting fired and hiring new coaches, like it's gonna be really interesting. I'm really excited for it, but. I want to talk about something. It's kind of weird. I didn't have like any segue, and I don't know if Dink watched it yet, but we can kind of talk about it. And he can watch it later. It's not gonna like he'll be fine to talk about it. Did you watch the Bad Batch season 3 trailer? Yes, Coach.
Yeah.
Dink has not watched it. When
they're going up a cannon, by the way.
Huh?
They're fucking with canon, by the way.
Just I'm gonna pivot to that. I think I might know what you're bringing up.
Yeah.
Of all the things in the trailer, what is the biggest standout for you? I just want to get it out of the way and talk about it right now.
Ventress.
Asajj Ventress showed up at the end of the trailer.
She should be dead.
Technically not. I saw a video. Someone was talking about the timeline. This is 2 years before she was supposed to. 2 years before she dies.
Dooku killed her.
Dark Disciple book changed it. The Dark Disciple book, she's alive with Quinlan Voss. Quinlan Voss saves her in the book.
She dies to save him.
I know,
She
but
doesn't make it.
when she like actually dies in Dark Disciple, it's like 2 years after when the Bad Batch is taking place. I don't remember who it was who was talking about it, but someone brought it up.
We need to verify that, because if Dooku's the one that force lightning her into death, then that's not accurate.
Hold on one sec here. I remember who I was. Because what did Dooku kill her in? It was in Clone Wars, right?
Yeah, because it was supposed to be Clone Wars. Right before Dooku gets sliced by Anakin, Quinlan and Ventress work together so that Quinlan can become strong in the darker side of the Force to be able to essentially murder Dooku sneakily, like, as you know, not the Jedi way kind of thing. It kind of falls into, in this war, you know, Jedi were getting out of control with, you know, what they had to do to win the war, and getting off of what they were supposed to do. It's kind of built off of that, and then when you get to the point where the Jedi Council let Quinlan work with Ventress, and Ventress, you know, that whole love story bullshit.
Yeah.
But when they finally get to Dooku, she sacrifices herself to save Quinlan, so it's...
So, some guy says in the comments on this guy's video, from the official site, we don't want to spoil anything, but want fans to know that any new storytelling with Ventress will align with the events of Star Wars Dark Disciple. And this guy's YouTube video, hold on.
It's flashbacks then.
What does he say here?
It's flashbacks.
Oh my god, no, it does work.
It's got to be
Bad Batch
flashbacks.
Season 2 took place in the year 19 BBY, right? 19 years before the Battle of Yavin.
Bad Batch, he just said Bad Batch Season 2 took place in 19 BBY.
We know that Ventress dies, but she doesn't die until Dark Disciple, which takes place in 20 BBY.
But when did
she
die?
And she dies in Dark Disciple, and Dark Disciple takes place in the year 20 BBY. So she dies a year later.
So this is right.
Yeah, so this is right before she dies. So
I have the audiobook. I'm gonna go back and kind of...
bottom line, if Quinlan's not in this, I'm gonna fucking riot. Quinlan's fucking awesome, dude.
At this point, if it's a year, he should be, because that's when the council allowed Quinlan to seek her out to be trained, to be able to assassinate him.
Yeah, no, all I know, and this is my general thoughts on what I saw. I'm actually excited for Bad Batch Season 3. Bad Batch Season 2 was not good, in my opinion. I think it was good. It was not very entertaining. I was very bored for a lot of it, and then it finally got interesting at the end. And I just hope Season 3 is very interesting.
They're setting up whatever Season 3 is supposed to be, right? That's what I got from that series. Do I like every episode? No, because I don't like every episode of the Clone Wars either. But I knew it was going somewhere. I knew they had a plan, so I was not that out of pocket when it came to just being like, well, I wish they'd do more. I wish they'd do more. Nah, that's not what... Like, the fact that they're tying everything in, you know, Tarkin and Krennic and, you know, all of those characters kind of popping in that last episode
Yeah.
or two. Like, all right, at least you're tying stuff in, you know. I feel with characters not meeting their demise, it leaves so much to kind of cover over the next 20 years of before the Empire fell on what the fuck they were doing.
Right.
And this is the last season, so that leads
Yeah.
me to believe they're either going out Rogue One style, or they're going to go off and find some planet on the Outer Rim and live happily ever after.
Did you see what the finale, the last episode of the season is titled?
No.
The cavalry is here, which is the first line they say in Clone Wars when they first show up. They're all dead. They're all gonna die.
Well, they said the cavalry is here. That could mean anything. That could mean Obi-Wan comes out of hiding. That could mean Ahsoka comes out and mops the floor of people.
Mm-hmm. You never know. All I know is that all I saw was they released the titles of the episodes, and someone said that that finale episode is the title of that episode is the very first line the Bad Batch say when they show up on screen.
So, or it could be everybody's favorite Mace Windu.
Mace Windu could show up.
I'm just throwing that out there. Like, let's fuck with the timeline some.
Is Dink the one that wants Windu to show up?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dink's like, yeah. Well, did you see the book, Dink? It's a book, right? Is it a book they're releasing? It's basically a book that is about Mace Windu surviving the fall. And
So what if-
and people are pissed that they released it.
Is it a fan thing or is it actual?
No, it's like an
Marvel?
actual. It was. I don't know if it was Marvel, but it was an actual like writer, like a Star Wars writer, wrote a book of what if basically a what if Mace Windu lived.
That doesn't mean it's actual.
Hold on, Mace.
I mean, as a Star Wars connoisseur and being a TikTok Star Wars guy, I see a lot of Star Wars stuff on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And if that was an actual case, I'd be seeing people losing their shit.
Oh my god, what's the book called?
Scared the hell out of me. Don't mock me.
No, I don't.
City
I don't
coach
care.
is in here mocking us
Why?
because we sound like little girls.
No. If we wanted to sound like little girls, we would start talking about all of the bullshit that Star Wars people talk about.
Yeah.
Star Wars Visions continuity. I don't know what that means, but it says he survives the fall.
Sorry, he's not surviving that. I understand the people that get pissed off that Qui-Gon didn't survive the stab, but fucking Sabine survived the stab, and I'm like, all right, there's different avenues in which you can stab through and still live.
Mm-hmm.
And you get center chest, diaphragm, lungs, that area. I don't think Bacta is gonna help. I think you get stuck in the lower abdomen. Okay.
Mm-hmm. My final question, and this is for the both of you. I want us to kind of end on this little discussion here. I think it would be a good discussion to end on, and I think it would make for a very interesting clip on YouTube. There are recent reports of a
No.
Star Wars
No.
What If series.
Don't want it.
I'm indifferent.
I don't want it.
Do with or without it.
I don't want it. Here's why I don't want it. All that's going to do is it's going to give the people like Star Wars Theory and Ryan Cannell, it's going to give them exactly what they fucking want, and it's only going to continue to tear apart the Star Wars community that we all love. It's going to tear it apart. It's going to continue to tear it apart, because what they're going to do is they're going to do, what if Luke never ran away? What if Rey was a Skywalker? They're gonna do these stories that Star
Rey
Wars
is a Skywalker.
It's like they're going to do what they're going to do the things Star Wars theory and those guys want them to do, and it's going to only further the issue of a Star Wars fan base. It's going to further destroy it.
To me, it would level out to about one season, right? Like, because really, what would happen is, all right, what happens if Qui-Gon?
What happens if Qui-Gon lives? Yep, and trains Anakin.
Yeah, that's gonna be one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's gonna be everything happens the way it happens, and then what if Luke decides to seek out his father, find his Vader, and then becomes,
exactly
the apprentice to Vader, and they take out the Emperor.
Yep.
And then it's gonna come in. Well, okay, what happens if Leia seeks out her real father and does the same thing? And then, what if Luke and Leia meet each other, become like that dyad thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then go and take out their father and the Emperor all at once, and then they're being shits. Like,
yeah.
I don't need it, because I don't want to see those misogynist jackass mofos.
Yeah.
Get ammo that they don't need.
The only way it doesn't further their agenda is if they stick to, like, prequel trilogy or original trilogy things. Like, if Qui-Gon lived and trained Anakin, that's not a crazy one. That's not one that's going to, like, cause these guys to lose their fucking minds. Like, that's been a what if for a while.
If Qui-Gon lived, would he have joined Dooku? I mean, there's more you could do. Like as I'm sitting here just thinking, I'm like, all right, you could do that. Like, but I just don't want it, because I don't want any of these asshats to have the ammo to say, see, that's what you should have done. Rey, this is how Rey should have turned out. Rey is a Palpatine, and maybe she becomes the Empress.
Mm-hmm.
Like, fuck.
Right.
Don't do it. If you're gonna do it in a comic book and say not part of canon, and then leave it over there, because then I don't have to see it.
Jank, do you know why we say that stuff against those guys? It's because those guys don't really they don't care about what these stories are doing for the community. These guys only care about what they want, and they don't care what other people like. They don't care that the sequel trilogy was made for the new era of Star Wars fans. They only look at it as Rey is a Mary Sue. Everything that happens with Rey is bullshit and woke, and everything
sexist,
about the sequel trilogy.
Misogynist.
They're sexist. They're misogynist. They're racist. Like,
racist, yeah.
There are plenty of examples out there that shows. I understand what you're saying. I want good content as well, but I don't want good content if that good content is just going to be made to further the big content creators that make money for Star Wars. Like, the only people that these big content creators, what's it called? They siphon outrage from the fan base. They siphon outrage from the fan base. That's what they
know what
want
to say. They know what to post to be able to get those people that are going to talk about their clips, get them driven to their websites, get clicks on their YouTube stuff.
It's clickbait.
Here's the funny part is all of the good Star Wars community that I'm a part of on TikTok. Like, we suss those assholes out real fucking quick, and a lot of us don't even, like, I don't even hint on, like, I haven't, a lot of them have done posts about Star Wars theory pushing this agenda, where I'm not going to, because I don't want people to go looking for it. I think it's not necessary. He can go make whatever he wants to do. I hope Mark Hamill stews his fucking balls off, because that's what he needs.
Like, there's like they siphon outrage. But here's what I'm doing. I'm talking about content creators. The difference is I'm talking about content creators that, like, spread hate about things that... not even things. They just spread hate about people. Like, all they do is post clickbait things and talk about clickbait articles, whereas, like, and I just wanna talk about Star Wars, and I'm worried like a what if series is going to allow these guys to be see why that would be awesome, and it's just going to give them more fuel to the fire. Like that's my opinion on why I don't think we need a what if series.
Okay, so let's take the Rose character for example from the sequels,
Yes.
right? Everybody hated her for the most part. That wasn't like big into Star Wars. Me, I didn't care. I thought the character was well thought out in the sense of you see her sister perish in a fight. You see how that affects her. You see that she's still driven to honor the memory of her sister by doing what she's doing. And I thought she's a decent actor. I thought she did well. But what they did was saying, this character's trash. She's trash. She shouldn't have been part of this. They had no validity to anything that they were talking about other than the fact that she was Asian and she was a woman. And you can say all you want about how Rey wasn't written right, because she wasn't. Great character was not written consistently through the three episodes. But when you come down to it, the premise of Rey is fucking badass. Like the premise that she is technically the daughter/granddaughter of Palpatine, has that much force power in her. That is awesome. It just wasn't well done. But you know what? I enjoy watching the sequels. I enjoy watching the originals. I enjoy watching the prequels. I enjoy everything they put out, and I don't hate about it. And I don't say, "Oh, well, this trilogy or this is led by a woman." How many times do we have to have a woman character, lead our Star Wars? Hello, episode 4, 5, 6, episode 1, 2, 3. I can two of the biggest characters, Padme Amidala and Leia.
Yeah.
So what's your issue? Strong, determined women that actually push the narrative forward throughout the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like
it's just them being sexist, racist, all of those things, and it just doesn't. It fuels our love for it and just shits on it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't change people's minds, right? You can't. You can't change it whatsoever. But all I tell people, and I've told Revan this, is like, it's okay that you don't like it. Does it bother me? Yes, it does. But I can't change that. All I can say is, hey, all I know is I get new Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in '76, so episode 4, 5, and 6 were my Bible until '99, and then that became my Bible. Yes, episode 2 is not as good, but episode 3 fucking rocks the world.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes down to it, like I was in the dark ages, as we called it, right? The dark times when we didn't have anything other than the EU. But I didn't like the EU because it wasn't from George. It wasn't from what he had written. So I didn't put any thought into it. I read a couple Boba Fett books, but I just wasn't into them enough.
Yeah.
And for people just to have hate because it's a female, I don't understand it. I don't.
Like, it's like my big thing here is like what Coach just said. People have their opinions. You're not going to change anyone's opinion. Like my wife said it the other night when we were watching Percy Jackson. She has her opinion on the Percy Jackson series and how she wants it to be, and I'm not going to change her opinion. And I told her, I'm not trying to change your opinion. It's just like the Star Wars community. People have their opinions. No one's going to change them. I just, what I was getting at, and Jank, I totally understand this. I totally understand where you're coming from. I'm hating on somebody who is at a level that I will never get to. He's at a level I will never attain. He will never see this video. He won't ever care about who I am or where I come from. This is me speaking at a point of Fantasyland. If Dink put out a video and said something, and I decided to get on here and say the same things I was saying about Star Wars Theory about Dink, then I can see the means of where you're coming from more so. Like I'm speaking from a standpoint of all these guys talk about is that they all they talk about is that they want what's best for Star Wars and the Star Wars community. If you want what's best for Star Wars and the Star Wars community, then why is every video you release hated, like full of hate? That's where I'm coming from.
Not for girls. That's
like why is every video you release, why is more Star Wars Theory is mad shady? He is like, why is every video a put down video on someone else in the Star Wars community just because they have a different opinion? That's what I'm coming from. Like, Coach and I talk about this. Coach Dink and I always talk about this. Dink and I don't really like episode 8. Hate episode 8. Coach likes it. Coach enjoys it. I don't. And that's like, Dink doesn't. That's fine. I don't hate Coach because he likes Star Wars episode 8. I don't hate Star Wars Theory because he thinks I don't hate Star Wars Theory because he thinks Star Wars is like, he thinks girls shouldn't watch Star Wars, or he thinks a girl shouldn't be directing a New Republic story. Like, he doesn't think Rey should have her own movie. Like, I don't hate Star Wars Theory for thinking that. I just think it's a misguided way for him to be speaking to the community that he thinks that he wants to better. Like Coach and I talked about this the last time we talked about this stuff. He is at a level on his platform. He should be using it to spread positivity, and he's not spreading positivity, and he's taking advantage of a toxic fan base, in my opinion. So
I was giving him the benefit of the doubt for over a year, saying, all right, some of the stuff for Mandalorian season 2 when Luke came out, I thought he was getting hated on a little bit too much, because I felt a lot like he did. Like, that's finally the Luke that, you know, we thought he was, right? Just badass, whatever it is. But then when you get into how when you're that big on a platform, you're that well respected in the Star Wars community, the top Star Wars content creator on the platform, you have a responsibility to do right. And I don't feel putting on people that say things like that, or will say, and he's actually said it, it's like, why are we following this character? We have too many Mary Sues, or that's a Mary Sue and this is a Mary Sue. I'm like, that stuff shouldn't be. You know what? If you don't like it, you don't like what they're doing, then you don't watch. The problem is, it's your livelihood. You have to.
Like,
so
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying there, Jank, and that's why I don't like it. He's like, I do feel a certain part of me like, yes, maybe he is genuinely pissed, but also maybe he is just saying what he says for the money. But then why in every video does he say it's not about the money? Like, if he's doing it for the money, then he continuously says it's not about the money. Like, that's what stresses me out about it. And like, we're talking about this, and one of his videos on here, one of his more popular videos is like, I'm looking at it and it has more views than almost any other video recently on his channel. He says, my thoughts on, quote, it's time a woman-shaped Star Wars. He put woman-shaped Star Wars in all caps, and he goes, ... ugh, go away. That's his title. Why is that a problem? Why is what the director of the Rey movie saying it's time for a woman to shape Star Wars? Why did he all caps woman-shaped Star Wars? Why is that an issue? Who cares? It's been about Luke and Anakin this whole time, and Rey's a Skywalker now. Why is that a problem? Why is this an issue that he needs to make a video on? And it's a completely out of I've seen the video, completely out of context clip. The whole clip is just, she's just talking, she's giving her reason why she feels like she should be directing Star Wars and why she wanted to do a Rey movie, because it's all been about Anakin and Luke and Darth Vader and the Emperor, and Leia has been important, but she's always kind of been a side character. So it's time for a woman to shape Star Wars. I don't hate that. Again, I think Rey is a good character. It's just, to me, the way he presents his content and the way he presents his beliefs to the Star Wars community is what drives the Star Wars community to negativity. And I'm not denying the fact that what he does also has an impact on what we say. It's because he is at that level. Coach Dink and I are at a level of Star Wars content creators and Star Wars communities. All we want to do is sit down and talk Star Wars without the negative umbrella that other people put over things. Like that's where I'm coming from. And like, what if is something like, yes, what if could be great content. I just don't think we need it, because I do think it'll be something that will further add to certain things.
So the haters are the loudest, right? It's just like everything in life. It's like the haters will be the loudest, but the people that love it usually keep their mouth shut. And that's kind of what happens with Theory. I will not buy into it. I won't buy into that stuff. If a content creator is good, I will follow them. I have unfollowed him on every platform, and I will not click on any of his stuff. I don't care what the headline is or what it is. And I used to enjoy him. I just couldn't take that anymore. So I'm making my choice to say I'm not going to consume his content. Is it going to hurt him in the long run? No, but I'm going to say why I don't like his content, and that is why. So when things come up that get pushed onto my things from other people, that's when I'll say, all right, that's wrong. That's his continuing his misogynist BS, which is out there. For me, let's talk about what you love and not talk about what you hate, because there's always going to be stuff that you don't like, and just spread what you love. Like, spread what your favorite character is, spread what you like to do with the community, spread what is great, what makes you feel good. Like, that's what it's about. If anybody has ever been in the 501st for more than a year and done more than one troop, it's about this character. It's about kids seeing that character, walking up to them, all 6 foot, hopefully 6 foot or bigger. It's me walking down and a kid understanding who a TIE pilot is, and then coming up, running up, saying, "Daddy, I know this guy. Like, girl, boy, you know what? Guys my age coming up to me going, "Nah, dude, that's so cool. Oh, how much you got it?" Like, we have to be cautious of what we say when we're in the costumes, but if you've ever been able to put on a Star Wars costume, there's no better joy than to put on that Stormtrooper, First Order Stormtrooper, look at myself in the mirror going, this was a dream that I had when I was an 8-year-old kid, put on Stormtrooper armor. And you know what? When I get to wear that out for the first time and see a kid's reaction, like, that's going to be worth the money, the time, the effort whatsoever. And that's the positivity that I want to share. That's what I want to put out into the world, not this continued bullshit about, I hate this, I hate this, why are they always doing this, this sucks, that sucks. No, just watch it, try to enjoy it, and pick out what you love.
Yeah. And Jake, I get where you're coming from, man. My thing is, should we have probably even brought it up? Probably not. I was just genuinely curious. It wasn't even on my docket for wanting to talk about today. I told these guys what look at, like, my title of the stream for today. I wasn't going to talk about this. It literally popped into my head last second, and I was curious. I didn't have anything predetermined. I didn't have anything planned out. All I wanted to talk about with these guys today was Reacher, Echo, Percy Jackson, and the Bad Batch trailer. All talking about Bad Batch, all of a sudden it brought up, like, randomly out of nowhere. I was like, oh shit. Also, what do you guys think about this? Because Coach has told me consistently when we stream, because it would make a good clip. Am I lying? I'm not saying. Am I not? Am I making something up there when I said that? It would make a good clip. I'm not pretending it wouldn't. My whole thought is it would make a good clip. I'm not saying it wouldn't. Like, I'm not saying anything other than that. My whole thought process here is Coach has said for the very beginning, Coach doesn't want to talk about these guys because there's no point in talking about it. I wanted to bring it up because I thought it would make a good clip. I'm not pretending that. I'm just saying that it was going to be funny. So,
for the record, I do not want a clip of us bashing fucking Star Wars Theory out there.
Again,
this is going to be out there, but I don't want a specific.
It doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be. But again, he's never going to see it. That's where I don't mind, like, talking about it. But Jink, you do what you want, man. I'm not mad at you. I'm not upset with you. I get everything you're saying. And to me, the thing you did say up here, though, where'd you say you guys pay a lot more attention to these people than I do. I've just seen a few videos in passing. That's why we came from where we came from. Me and Coach were embedded in the Star Wars theory community for a while. I was in every single stream he had. I watched every single video he had, and over time he slowly turned into what we've been talking about, because that's where the money is, as you said. That's where the clicks are. That's where all that is. This has now turned into that discussion. I wanted a funny clip talking about what our opinions are on What If, and giving our opinions on why we think it's a bad idea. And my opinion on why it's a bad idea is because it continues to give fuel to the people that spread hate and negativity in the Star Wars community.
Well, that's our take on what would happen if.
That's my take on what would happen. It has nothing to do with me giving them the time or the brain power, as you said. It has everything to do with the fact that a What If Star Wars series is going. I understand you want good content. I want good content too. I want a Star Wars What If story that's not going to give more fuel to these guys that said, see, I told you that would make for a better story, because that's what it would do. One of his more popular videos right now is also, wow, they're actually doing this, and it's a video on the Star Wars What If. He wants it. That's what he wants. And every other video is hate. It's, I'm a misogynist, Star Wars theory. Rey movie canceled rumor. Star Wars theory's psychologist destroys the new Star Wars director. Quote, they want to be a victim. Guy breaks down over Charmin obeyed Chinoy shaping Star Wars. And it's a thumbnail of a guy, and he put next to him, no balls. Like, that's not content. Like, people watch it. It's got 70,000 views. It's got 100,000 views. It's got 200,000 views. People watch it. That, to me, is not good for the Star Wars community. If you want views and you want people to join Star Wars community, as long as if it's Star Wars theory, regardless of who it is, then fine. I just think my opinion on the What If Star Wars theory, the What If Star Wars show, the reason why I don't want it is because I think all it's going to do is give fuel to the people that spread hate and negativity in the Star Wars community. That's my opinion.
Okay, so beyond that, Jake, what kind of to piggyback off that, what we're saying is that we don't want it because of this, but I'll guarantee you the first person that's going to be stoked if they come out with it and be there the second it's available to watch is this guy. I will fucking consume anything they throw at me because, like you, I want more Star Wars content.
I will watch it in 2 days. I will watch every episode.
When the question comes up that says, you know, hey, what do you think? And the first thing that pops in my head is that aspect of it, because Revan and I have been talking about this offline all the time, and if they give me Star Wars content, I don't care what it is. I'm going to consume it. This What If series could be the best thing ever. I can guarantee you. Visions, I didn't care. But you know
and
what?
It's fucking
love
sick.
Visions. I've watched through both seasons twice, or twice or three. I go through them. Like, I didn't even know I wanted Young Jedi Adventures, right? But my daughter's 2, and she loves Nubs, and I love Nubs. So I've watched through that series like 4 or 5 times, including the shorts. Like, I didn't like. Do I want the High Republic? Not really, but it's great content. I can't wait for the series coming out. Like, if you're gonna give me What If, give me What If.
Right.
I'll watch it, I'll
Like,
consume it, and if it's badass, I will make a costume to be 501st approved in it.
Like, Jink, I think you're misinterpreting to a certain extent what we said. I may have said I don't want it at the beginning. Let me reiterate. I don't need it. That's what I should say. I don't need it. Dink said it correctly. Dink said I don't need it. Coach said I don't need it. I may have said I don't want it. That's not what I mean. I don't need it. Will I watch it? Yes. Could it be the coolest fucking thing ever? Yes. Did I need Star Wars what's the word? Indifferent. Yeah, Dink's indifferent. Did I need Tales of the Jedi? Sure didn't. Was it fucking awesome? Sure fucking was. Made Count Dooku one of my top 5 favorite Star Wars characters. Like, that's what it did for me. Like, it can like, those things can be good. They just need to be done from a standpoint of bettering the Star Wars lore and the Star Wars stories, not to make a certain group of people happy. And that's all I'm thinking when I see Star Wars What If. I go, the first thing that pops into my mind is they're trying to make someone happy here, and that's what I'm worried about. Like, if they do, like we were talking about at the beginning, if they do, what if Qui-Gon lived? Awesome. That everyone wants to see that. If they do, what if Anakin beat Obi-Wan? Also awesome. That would be awesome. Like, and I agree. I don't like the idea of changing what I want out of something based on how someone else is going to feel about it. Totally agree. I'm not changing what I want. I don't need Star Wars What If, but I'll watch it. It's not that I don't want it, it's that I don't need it. Like, there's certain things in the world that I don't want or that I don't need, but I'll still take them. Like, I don't need $1 million. I'll take it. Like, it's like it's a give and a take kind of thing with Star Wars. It's just like there's a certain level of connection. Like, Star Wars, it means so much. Like, Jank, I know you're like, Star Wars means so much to you. You're obviously you come from a world, Jank. If you've only seen these guys' videos in passing, I'm jealous of you. Coach is probably jealous of you. I wish I didn't have to deal with these guys for as long as I do. The problem is a lot of these videos are they because of how much I watch them, they are now on my algorithm. I don't subscribe to him, I don't follow him. He's now on my algorithm because of how much of him I watched. And I don't want this constant negativity on my timeline.
It's more of just that's the first thought we had in our head, as opposed to, do I really want to see what had happened? I mean, we all have had conversations about what would happen. You know, what it'd be cool to see what would happen if, you know, Anakin didn't turn to the dark side, just chopped off Sidious's head. But, you know, this is us just off the cuff talking. This is not us sitting there thinking. You know, a lot of times what we do, Jank, is that we actually sit here and we have it written out, like, our thoughts. So that we can keep this conversation is kind of the fluid one that we generally have offline. So
that the fire alarm? Thing we say,
you have to you getting kicked out again?
Oh my god!
Why are they doing it at 11:30 at night?
That's
Someone's
wild.
gotta be smoking weed. Someone's gotta be smoking weed, bro. Oh my god. Alright, long story short, Jank, stop hating, Jank. I'll be back.
No worries.
Yeah, I'm smoking.
It's me. I'm smoking.
Yeah, I just think we might have hit a trigger with you, Jank, that was kind of just based off of, that was our first thought, not us writing it down. Because what Rev and I will do is we'll type out stuff, and then it gives us a week to kind of put our thoughts together.
This was off the cuff. Like, here's the thing. We've also talked about this with people before. Like, me and Coach may not have talked about this extensively outside of stream, but, like, Mrs. Revan and I have talked. Plenty of other people that love Star Wars as much as I do, we have talked about the Star Wars What If. And I've talked about what I want to see, what I want to do, what episodes I want, what kind of stories I want to see. But I've also said, I also don't really need this show. Like, I don't really need this. Like, we've got the Marvel What If that's telling a bigger story. It just feels like this Star Wars What If is going to just fill a gap. You know what I mean? That's also kind of where I'm at. But then I also look at it from a standpoint of, because, again, I'll say it again, I thought it would make a pretty funny clip, but maybe it didn't. Obviously, I hit a trigger. Whoops, I guess.
But that's the point.
Yes, like, that's what I was looking for there. Like, it's like you gave me exactly what I was looking for, and that's exactly what these other content creators do that are part of Star Wars. Like, that's the thing. Like, and it's not like not like that's me. Like, you've seen plenty of our other podcasts. We don't ever do this. Like, that's just me. Like, I
will tell you that, like, I do tend to bash Star Wars theory on a daily basis.
Oh, I don't like him, but yeah.
I think when we talk Star Wars, I usually bash him in some way, shape, or form. But that's just me being angry that he puts that negativity in the world, not the fact of I don't respect his opinion.
I didn't say you were triggered. I said we hit a trigger.
I said you triggered.
Oh.
Poor thing. It's just me.
Yeah,
talking.
and we're not focused on any hate at all. We, like, as Dink just said, yeah, we've been talking for 2 hours. We've been zero focused on hate. The one time we mention that Star Wars What If would give us, would just make the biggest content creators for Star Wars on the planet focus on the hatred. That's why I don't want it. It has nothing to do with me focusing on hate. I'm focusing on why it wouldn't be good. Like, it's not hate. I'm focusing on why they would spread the hate. Like, I haven't been focused. We haven't been focused on hate all night. So, I don't, like... And you can have a different viewpoint. Again, we're further proving our point of why Star Wars is fucking impossible to talk about. It's why it's impossible to talk about. Unless you have the right people to talk about it with. And I'm not saying you're not the right person to talk about it with. It's just, like... We talk about this all the time. Me and Coach, we talk about this all the time in our streams when we're playing games together. Like, has nothing to do with hate. Coach and I have said from the very beginning, when we talk about Star Wars, like, obviously I said it at the beginning, I wanted it to be a clip because it's funny. We always talk about, like, I love that Coach loves Episode 8. Coach respects that I don't. Like, it's like that's what the Star Wars fan base needs to be. I have too many people that I know that that love Star Wars Episode 8, and I have said I don't like it, and we have never spoken about Star Wars again because I said something they didn't like. So that's where I'm coming from. Like, I know for a fact that this is what has happened to the Star Wars community.
Well, it's like the TikTok we made the other day, right? That one guy came out with that thing about Palpatine.
I'm not misunderstanding you, Jank. Sorry, Coach. I'm not misunderstanding you. You're saying that we're focusing on the hate of what Star Wars Theory and these guys would do. I am focusing on the hate of what they would do. And I get what you're saying, because the problem is when we talk about Star Wars, me and Coach firmly believe the hate that Star Wars Theory spreads is breaking the Star Wars community. We can complain about Star Wars Theory because he's at a level we'll never attain.
It's breaking the online Star Wars community. So, if you're in the 501st or outside, it doesn't. Everybody loves everything.
Yeah, and that's exactly. Everyone loves everything. Coach and I are on a level where we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what Star Wars Theory does because it's our opinion, and we talk about Star Wars. Star Wars Theory is a part of Star Wars. He's a part of Star Wars content. So we're going to talk about it. When Coach and I have talked in the past where we're like, we don't really want to talk about Star Wars Theory. But sometimes we have to. Like, Star Wars Theory is so, to me, is so important to the Star Wars, like, he is important to the Star Wars community. But I think he's important in a bad way. And I think from a small community, people in our community that don't know about that, I think spreading the fact that if you're going to go out and watch someone who just has hateful videos about Star Wars, you're not expanding your mind on Star Wars. You need to focus on the people that love Star Wars and want to actually discuss Star Wars with you. He doesn't really discuss Star Wars with anybody that has a different opinion from him. He never has. None of his videos have ever been with anyone who has a different opinion from him. He had one video where someone had a different opinion than him, and he shut that kid down and destroyed that kid's reputation. I can find you the story. I can find you the video. So,
anyway,
that's just our opinion. But I guess you have your opinion, we have our opinion. I don't think any differently of you, Jank. Coach doesn't think any differently of you. Dink doesn't think any differently of you. I sure hope you don't think any differently of us. We said one thing that I guess didn't sit right with you. That's fine. I am all about Star Wars love. My dad raised me from when I was fucking ankle high on Star Wars, dude. And my dad told me and God rest his soul, my dad told me from the very fucking first moment he showed me Star Wars, he said Star Wars is 100% about the fans, love, and connection. He's always told me that. That has always stuck with me. Everything I have is because everything I have that is Star Wars is because of my dad. That Mandalorian poster, my dad got me at Star Wars Celebration. Star Wars Rebels poster, my dad got me at Star Wars Celebration. Every lightsaber, that blue one, my dad fucking made me. This one right here, right next to the LED light, my dad made me that. The Star Wars thing up top, my dad gave me. The Star Wars Episode 7 poster, my dad gave me. Like, it's not... Like, my dad, and I'm sure, and Coach is doing the same for his children. Like, Star Wars is about love.
Story, anyway. The other two are too old.
Star Wars is about love and connection and just the love of what George Lucas has given us. And it's about expanding stories, and it's about telling the future generations about what Star Wars is. And I just think also looping in people that are parts of your small community into the fact that there are people out there that are actively trying to force you to not like that are telling you to not like certain things because of what they're doing, and they're using their platform to really just disingenuously hate on something that is something I love, bothers me. So guess what? As a Star Wars content creator, I'm gonna talk about it. So I understand.
I have like a couple of my last straw was broken during the Ahsoka series and his commentary and that stuff. Like I could go down everything he said within that last couple episodes. That I'm just like, I don't need to do that. Like honestly, I just want to talk about the great things. Like if I've watched through Ahsoka,
I just want to talk about all the good stuff.
I've been through Ahsoka 5 times. Like I'm actually thinking like I want to be a face character in 501st, right? So I'm going through all of the things in my head. I'm rewatching everything just because I want to find that face character that fits my stature. And I'm like, Balin Skull, I could actually pull off that cosplay. He's got the goatee.
Hell yeah.
I got the size. I could actually pull that off. Like I just might have to gray up my goatee a bit, but like I could actually pull it off. I got the same hairstyle. Like I could really do it. So I want to see so much more. I want to see more of Balin. I mean, it's rest in peace, Ray. But like, holy crow! Yeah. I don't want to sit here and dwell on dipshits like that. I just want to talk about the cool shit, and that's what I'm gonna do. Like the entire night, I pulled down my helmet for my 501st my 501st emission, and I was holding it up against my Black Series to see if they were different.
Yeah, I saw you looking at them.
Well, like it feels small, so I was like, I have to check to see. There's a lot of differences.
Yeah, like I'm not like we'll be done. It's just like I wanted to do something. I wanted to bring up something that I thought would be funny and entertaining. Like I said, if you've ever heard Dink, me, and Coach ever talk about anything related to Star Wars, go look at some of our old podcast episodes. We truly do try to stay away from the negative shit. We do, because we just want Star Wars to be. We just want to talk about the good stuff, like Coach just said. I just want to talk about the good things that are in Star Wars. But guess what? There are sometimes things to talk about that do suck and are stupid, and we wouldn't be doing our jobs as Star Wars content creators if we weren't talking about it. So that's just my opinion. And I'll be honest with you, we were going to get more into, we were already starting to get into what we were going to think of what if, and then, not blaming you, but, you brought up a question and you started asking us why we were attacking and doing all this stuff and being hypocrites in a sense. So then we started talking. So I decided to talk about it because I don't want myself to be labeled as a hypocrite, and I don't want Coach to be labeled as a hypocrite. If you want to call us that, fine. But I'm going to tell you, we are 100% just solely focused on wanting to better the Star Wars community and make the Star Wars community a better place. And what we can do from our platform is talk about all the stuff we love, just like Coach said. Talk about the great things, talk about the good things, and yes, we might give our thoughts on something that we think are negative. Like, you said it earlier, Jank. Fallen Order, it's a fun game. sure is fucking Tomb Raider in space though. Like it's basically a Tomb Raider in space. That's a negative thing about Star Wars. That is something that we would talk about. Like if I ever played the game. Like Obi-Wan, fine show, nothing phenomenal. I thought some of it was not very good. Like there's negative things you can talk about, but something that I wanted to bring up just in jest and on the side was how I think why I think What If is something that would be a detriment, but I apologize. I didn't mean to kickstart a whole thing. So I seem to have been doing that a lot lately. I didn't mean to do that. So I apologize, but I want you to be aware that this is our content, this is our community, and you should know us by now. We don't spread hate. You should know us by now. And if you think we do, then you should get to know us again, because that's not what we do. So we are lovers of Star Wars here. We are not sowers of hate. That is not something that we intend to do on this channel. Thank you, Dink.
I don't necessarily like the hypocrite aspect of it, because we're talking about the negative impact on the community as opposed to the actual content.
No, I know.
Okay.
I get you. No.
I understand
what I was getting at was it sounded like at the beginning why I was getting very defensive is it sounded like at the beginning Jank was in a sense
calling you out,
calling us out because of talking about someone who sows hate and negativity on his channel and us being negative and sowing hate about him. I didn't want us to be called out as hypocrites for doing that. And guess what? Our opinions are different, so we can talk about our differing opinions. So it did, as Dink just said, it did come across hostile, and I don't know if Coach felt that way. It feels like it obviously seems Dink felt that way. I did.
I'd say you got animated more than you normally would.
Who, Jank?
Like you?
Me? No. I felt like we were getting called out on being on us being hypocrites about Star Wars, and I didn't really love that, because I know your opinion on Star Wars, I know Dink's opinion on Star Wars. I've known you guys for a very long time, and as like Dink says, talking to Jank, it's another thing to make implication on a streamer's character and intent with a judgment hostile tone. So I think Dink was making it feel like Jank was coming across hostile.
I didn't take offense to anything, Jank.
I didn't either. I was just
Revan's the one that went on the tangent. I was just like, okay.
I love Star Wars, man.
Like, I mean, it comes down to the character in which you've put out, whether or not you say something or not. You know, everybody knows.
No, you were calling me out, Jank. It's fine, dude. I get it.
I don't know. I mean, you see it. Everybody sees the passion I have for it, so it's not like, hey, if I have a bad connotation about some guy that says something that is wrong, oh well. I'm gonna see the rest of my content. Me spending 10 minutes on a douche nugget, it's not gonna change my overall demeanor when it comes to Star Wars. You can say, hey, did you read what was the one book in between Aftermath, like the Aftermath series? You say, Ben or Coach, did you like those books? That I could tell you exactly what happened in those books, because I listened to them. I didn't read them. I went through them multiple times just so I could get a background in between of what I haven't seen. So to me it doesn't matter. Or it could be like, hey, Coach, did you watch this or did you read this book from the EU? I'll be like, no, but why is it so awesome? Like, why do you like it? I'm not an EU guy. I've never been an EU guy. So tell me why you like that Star Wars. Like, tell me tell me some of the things that you're seeing Dave Filoni throw in there from that. Like, that's the stuff I want. That's why I started streaming. I wanted to play Star Wars games and talk shit like that. And it never really morphed into that. Like, this is the closest thing that it's really come to what I originally wanted to do.
Yeah. Well, and that's, like I said, that's kind of, yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I was getting at the beginning. Like, I just want to talk about, like, I wanted to bring up a thing I thought was funny, and like I just wanted
to me, bringing up the what if, because it's been out there, is a controversial thing to a point.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, maybe we should have planned it out ahead of time. I didn't think it was gonna like, you know, I didn't think it was gonna do that, but you know, I didn't intend for that to happen again. That's why I've always like.
And don't think we're upset about it. I'm not upset about it. It is what it is. Like, I'm happy you spoke up. I'm happy you have an opinion. I'm happy you threw it out there, because it keeps us talking, even though I need to go to goddamn bed.
Yeah, like I said, I love you, Jenk. I respect you. I do. I just like. I don't know you. You know what I mean? And you don't know me. And it just felt like something that I've done and talked about my entire life, and something that I love and know was being, you know, called out on. So I apologize. Didn't obviously mean to, you know, whatever. I mean, it's something that's, I guess, been happening to me for a little bit now. So.
Good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a good discussion. But sometimes you have to be called out. Sometimes you have to have that different opinion that you're not going to get upset over. Like, I have a hard time in general when I just see things like that are negative with people I know. It's like, I'm frustrated because it's not because I vehemently disagree with them. It's because they can't look past a hang up to see what's good. That's what I have an issue with a lot of times, is like, look past that. Look past it. Is it there's something there that you can connect with, like
that's kind of what I'm getting at. And I think I'm gonna talk about it. Like, it's not like I'm not gonna sit here and be quiet because I like Jank, go watch some of their videos, Jank. I know you said you've only seen some of their videos in passing. Just take a day. This will be the only time you ever hear me actually shout out his content. Just go watch some of his videos. Go watch Ryan Cannell's videos. Just take some time and just go watch them, and tell me the difference between what he does about Star Wars and what I was just saying about a content creator. That's the thing. I want you to know the difference of what we do. It's the difference in what he says about Star Wars and what I'm saying about a Star Wars creator. There's a difference. Star Wars as a whole and a Star Wars creator. I'm hating on a Star Wars creator. He's hating on what Star Wars is. So it kicked Dink out. So that, I just want you to be aware. You say you've seen enough to know why people hate them. Go watch some of if you've seen some of his most recent stuff. Like, Coach and I talk about it off stream a lot. It's like Coach just said, there's a difference between just hating on something you don't like and then just hating on something that is a genuine change. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's hard to. Coach put it in better words than I did.
Because I'm old.
But that's to me, that's what I'm saying the difference is, Jank, is hating on a content creator over hating on Star Wars. Like, I'm hating on a content creator, I'm not hating on Star Wars as a whole. Like, I'm not telling people this sucks and that sucks and this sucks. I'm saying I don't like what this guy is saying because all it does is hurt the community. That's what I'm saying. So,
best community on the planet is right here / on TikTok. Like, get on my algorithm and you'll see so many great content creators that don't buy into that. And even when some of the people that I am friends with on TikTok that are Star Wars based, like I'll tell them and be like, don't waste your breath on people like this because it just brings us down.
I need to send you.
What you love.
I need to send you a video, Coach. There was a guy, I showed this video to Mrs. Revan yesterday. There's a guy there was a content creator on, I believe I was on TikTok, I think, and she was listening to the video of the lady who is directing the I understand that that's what bothers you, Jank. The point is it was a one-time thing that we rarely ever do, and you're making it sound like it's all we do. So you can keep talking about it all you want. We're moving on to the next thing. So whatever. But there was a chick who was doing a thing, and she was reacting to what she was saying about it's time a woman shaped Star Wars and all this stuff, and she goes, George Lucas would never, and saying this stuff, and the guy takes over the video. You've probably seen it, I don't know, but he goes, I think I know what the problem is here. You all just don't know how to talk about Star Wars. You guys sure know how to Photoshop red eyes on Kathleen Kennedy, but you just don't know how to talk about Star Wars anymore. So that's like, I was just kind of like, that's a good point. They just don't know how to talk about Star Wars anymore. And I was like, that's a really good point. They just don't talk about StarArs.
Because it's easy, right?
Yeah, it's easy to do that. It's easy to do that.
Easy to pick out things and say things like that, as opposed to just saying, hey, overall, this is what I feel about it. I like this. Could have done without this.
And that's what we try to do. Like, we always talk about, like, here's what we like about Ahsoka. Here's what we liked about Obi-Wan Kenobi. Here's what we liked about Andor. Like, and here's what we didn't like about it. Like, we rarely ever talk about, like people they're just talking about these interviews and these speeches and all these other things that they don't need to talk about.
Nothing that it has really nothing to do with the actual content.
Yeah,
that's my thing. Like, I even did a joke thing on TikTok about Kathleen Kennedy, and a couple of my people were like, "Bro, no." I'm like, I know, it's just busting balls. Like, I don't have a bad bone at all about Kathleen Kennedy. I'm just
me either.
Happy with. I happy that I get content, like, so I can watch it, consume it, talk about it, find something in there that's new and fresh, and that's not the same old shit, different day. You know?
Like, I just like it's like it's just wild, man. Like, I don't know, man. It's just crazy to me. But as we said, I'll watch it. Like, I think there's really cool. Obviously, there's some really cool stories in there that they could do. I'm just here sitting on the edge of my seat waiting for, obviously, Ahsoka season 2, Mando season 4, the fucking Mando movie, like
Skeleton Crew.
What's the other one? Acolyte. I'm excited for Acolyte. I think that's gonna be sick. And, like, it's just, I've
gotten through one book on High Republic. Not bad. They kind of talk about Yoda, but
did you get the talking rock yet?
No. Well, no. Yeah.
I got Geode or something like that.
It's fine. I don't. It doesn't bother me whatsoever.
No, I know. It's so funny.
Some of the books I did read in EO were so ridiculous, also. So it was like, all right, I don't really. To me, when it comes down to it, the books are great, but when you get to video and you get to seeing it, they always manipulate it. Like, what happened to Kanan, right?
Yeah.
In the comic books, it wasn't that, but in the actual canon now, it's the Bad Batch helped him escape kind of nonsense. It's not nonsense. It's just
All right.
change it.
Hans Gruber dropping in at the end of the stream with Star Wars cocklight. I don't know what the fuck that means.
I think Coach said like acolyte, maybe.
Oh, okay. I see. I got you now. I got you. I still don't know who that is. It's Hans Gruber, I guess.
Hans Gruber. He's still falling from the tower.
He is. He's still falling. He's still falling. Yeah. Dink, how was the fire? How was the fire alarm?
That was a long drill. They're usually not that long.
Why are they doing them at 11:30? It had to be someone smoking weed, right?
I don't think it was a drill. Someone was either cooking or smoking. But
Lovely.
I mean, yeah. Usually the drills are only this long at like the apartments.
Mhm.
Not the apartments. The dormitories.
Mm-hmm.
Because those like the fucking fire truck will be there or something like that.
Yeah.
Or it'll just take them a while to turn everything off. But here in these apartments, it's just a cop shows up, does whatever he does, and then everything's good.
Yeah. Well, you missed out on a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Not that much. He was watching.
It was a juicy podcast tonight.
Yeah,
I gotta go to bed.
Yeah. So thank you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Coach, where can they find you?
Thanks, Dank.
The next, if you make like a VOD, it'll be like podcast drama. You know, like fuck.
Yeah. We bring out the drama in the Star Wars community. Drama.
Civil War in chat. You know, I don't know.
It's just so like
one of the guys that's been in our community for years, but we're still talking shit.
Like that's the thing. Like it's like it's so easy. It's just so easy.
So easy
to start something that I don't hold any ill will towards him. I don't know if he's still in here. If he is, I love him to death. I do. I love Jank. But it's so easy. It's not just him. It's happened with other people. It's just so easy to start something. It's crazy that Star Wars has turned into that. It's just so easy. And it's crazy. Like,
hey, I'll tell you right now. It's like there's one content creator. He moved over to YouTube. Now he does informational shorts on Star Wars, and even if I have disagreements with him, I watch his content because A, it's good, and it gives me information I generally didn't have before, or at least gives me insight in something I did not know about before. So he doesn't throw that opinion out there. He doesn't put that kind of content out there. But even, I don't even know what he's called now. Probably something to bash Dazu.
Yeah, I'm actually curious what his name is now, but I don't know. I'm literally currently looking for his page, but I don't know what his name is now.
Give me a second.
But regardless, like, find it and tell me afterwards. I'm curious. I want to watch some of his videos, but no, it's just it's just, I mean, it imploded on it. The community imploded on itself on Twitch. The community has imploded on itself on YouTube. Like, the community doesn't even exist on Kick. Like, it's completely obliterated, and that's just and that's just what it's turned into. Like, that's just the truth of it. And I know, like I said, I get where he was coming from. I understand what he was saying, but I firmly believe there's a difference between hating on a content creator and hating on the Star Wars as a whole. Like, but which is what we were getting at more so. But I think all this did was further prove that, Coach, you're right. We should fucking not talk about him. Like, boy, oh boy, does it fucking flip things fast. But alrighty, chat. You can find me at that one nerd Revan on Twitch, I guess. I mean,
yes,
I'm live here and there right now. Probably live tomorrow. We'll see. I don't know. I'm curious what my day is gonna. Not because I don't want to stream. I'm curious what my day is gonna consist of tomorrow. So I don't know if I can stream tomorrow. With having to work this weekend, I got shit I gotta do tomorrow. So we'll see if I'm live tomorrow. If not, I will be live probably next Tuesday. Probably. Because I can't stream this weekend. There's no fucking shot. I got too much shit going on. I gotta work.
Maybe next week Dink will be able to say something.
Yeah, I set myself up for that, so don't feel bad at all. You can sleep soundly tonight, okay?
Dude, I'm
not even mad. It's not even a big deal. I'll probably forget about it in like 2 days. I'll be fine.
That's what I told Coach. That's what I told Coach when you were muted. I said he's probably gonna just forget about it when he finishes the show in a fucking week. But I was like, dude, I felt so fucking bad. I could not believe that. Oh my god, that was funny as shit though. Coach, as always, where can they find you?
TikTok, Coach_Vader. You keep your alerts going on Twitch.
Daily posts.
And YouTube's if you're on Coach Vader. So when I go live, I'm trying to go live once a week. I don't know what time. This week's been nuts, but keep those alerts. Watch TikTok.
Mm-hmm. And Dink?
I was planning on coming back this week, maybe, but it's just been such a busy week.
Mm-hmm.
They already got me hitting the ground running with school.
I didn't even think we were gonna get you tonight.
Yeah, and I had a gig this weekend, so I'm not gonna come back till probably next week. And so I was supposed to be streaming also the past couple weeks, but I was just feeling like I had a feeling like this semester is gonna be really tough. So I was like, I need to just lock myself in a bunker and just get everything in great shape here, and I am in great shape, so it all worked out. Also, amazing. I need a little bit of a break because I tend to be 100% on the gas pedal and then I burn myself out. So I was like, I started to see it coming, so I was like, all right, let me just take a step back for a little bit before I get burnt out.
That's fair. Love that.
But I'm planning on coming back next week. Maybe I'm thinking doing Wednesday streams leading into this.
Nice.
And then Saturday streams, and then if we ever have any time. But I'm definitely the Discord. I'm on almost every night, late at night. We get some games in with the boys.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's nothing super high pressure, schedulized. Is that a word, schedulized?
I don't know.
Not super scheduled like it usually is. So we can just chill and hang out.
Join the Discord if you're not in there.
Going on. But yeah.
So, alrighty. Well, thank you guys. Have a great night. And we will see you guys next week. Peace.